Welcome, viewers, to the continuation of our second limited series, Thick as Thieves 2 here at Tales of Witternacht, our D&D 5th edition actual play stream. I am AJ, and I'll be your storyteller this evening, and with me are tonight's players, Ollie, Conrad, Dustin, Silver, and Jeff. Before we begin, we'd like to go ahead and thank a few groups. Smiteworks for Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. Soundscape for our amazing music, ambiance, and sound, which you're hearing right now. Discord for our voice and video services, and Wizards of the Coast for D&D 5th Edition, the game that we play. Tales of Witternacht is not directly affiliated with any of these companies other than the use of their products. And with that, let us begin tonight's tale. So last time in Tattoo, a group of 5 met underneath the moonlight of the Shadow District's Dark Gate. We met Zay, Arbor, Onair, Escher, and Krellin. A note brought them together, and a job bound them to one another. Their mission, which they inevitably chose to accept, was to break out 2 individuals from the Six Bells dungeon. With little fine detail to go on but the promise of impressive magical relics as a reward, the team broke into the sewers and found their way to the dungeons by way of a tunnel to the torture chamber. There, they snuck through until assaulting a guard, dropping another with paralysis, and manipulating the warden to check on a different chamber altogether. They found success in their task, escorting their 2 mystery charges over towards the stairwell, the torture chamber no longer being a way to exit outward. Trudging up these stairs to the main floor of the keep, we rejoin our party. As we go ahead and pick up, I would like to know, where exactly is everybody in terms of going up the stairs, the marching order, as it were? Let's go ahead and go through. We'll start at the top. Arbor.
Ooh, I mean, Arbor's probably towards the back. He was one of the last people to join up with the rest of the group, so he's probably... Yeah, I think he's probably taking up the rear at the moment.
Okay. And then we have Onair.
I think Onair would push forward to the front. He was also in the back, or one of the last people coming up, but he would probably want to stay up in the front and make sure that he pushes out.
Okay. Let's hop over to Krellin. In this case, let's go ahead and hop over to Zay.
Zay is probably like right behind Onair because he just wants to get out of the dungeon because he's covered in dungeon funk now and it's ruining his clothes.
Okay.
Not to mention the sewers before.
And let's go ahead and go over to Escher.
I should be towards the back, so I can be back there with Arbor.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move everybody. Looks like somehow somebody got taken off, but can easily add you back. So, cool. As you go ahead and move up these stairs, this long kind of nice stonework staircase, it leads up through into a hallway. Before you have a door kind of distanced against you, some 10 feet away from the top of these stairs. And over off to your right, you notice a similar set of double doors. Let us go ahead and share the map. Boom. Think everybody should be able to see now?
Maybe
It might just be loading.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of intersperse the two who we're supposed to bring up. It is very dark.
Is there anything to distinguish the 2 doors? Are there any sort of like markings or insignias or whatnot?
Since you're over up at the front, are you kind of like looking at them, or do you actually want to kind of like feel around the door proper?
I'll feel around the door proper, yeah.
Okay, then go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Perfect. Not intimidation.
Yeah, not intimidation.
Get very angry at the door.
There you go. For a straight roll, looking pretty good with a 19. Yeah, as you are feeling over this door, you kind of move your fingers between like the small slit between these two doors, and you do catch that there's like a pretty heavy lock between the two of them.
Alright, O'Neill will turn around and go. Looks like this one's locked. I don't know about the other one. Which way do we want to go?
Well, Zay, you were the professional, yes? Or Escher?
Yeah, we have done like not so much breaking into dungeons and getting people out of them, but more, shall we say, taking things without the owner's consent kind of affairs. But locks are. Asher is not a bad man with a lock.
Well, the lot is no problem for me. I was referring to which direction we go.
Well, there's a part of me that always thinks that whenever there is a locked door behind there is something somebody does not want you to find. And those things are usually valuable or incredibly dangerous. So, it's a coin flip.
Say. Yeah, last time Krillin and I opened a locked door we shouldn't have. There was a little bit of both.
Well, what they say, it is not life without risk, no?
I suppose.
Suppose no harm in seeing what's behind the door. And Kron's gonna go to pick the lock.
All right. At this point, you notice that the two people that you have liberated from the dungeons are trying to stay out of your way as best as possible. Though it doesn't seem like they necessarily have vision, they are kind of like shifting around to kind of avoid bumping into one another, since they do kind of feel just the compactness of the spaces all of you feel here. So, Krillin, if you want to go ahead and do that, you absolutely may. Oh.
Oof,
No
baby.
problem.
Go ahead and tell me what this looks like.
He's gonna take. Like, he's probably got like a little pouch with his different pits. He's just gonna pick two out, and he's just gonna stick them in, and it's just gonna click. Oh, well, I suppose it wasn't that difficult.
As you do, you rake all of those tiny parts of the lock, and it falls like butter before you. And in the distance, you all see a very large, imposing statue with these two kinds of sconces on either side. It's this beautiful statue that seems to just emanate some sort of power. It holds a very large sword between its arms, a small kind of dais sat before it that is lightly illuminated by the flicker of the flame lights, and it looks like there are also bannerets hung on either side proper. But you all should be able to move through the door now.
Yeah, O'Neill will take his first step forward. He'll go cautiously, just looking around to see if there's any, like, not necessarily traps, but traps.
Okay.
I think as Arbor is trailing a little bit further behind, but his ears are like up and pricked and kind of swiveling back and forth and listening for any footfalls or movement.
Okay. Since you're taking more of an active role, if you can go ahead and roll me a perception check, then we'll have that stand for the duration of this. And for you, O'Neill,
Sure.
as you are moving kind of slowly through, go ahead and roll me one more investigation.
Wonderful. I really picked the best character for all these investigation checks.
Okay.
Ah,
You're moving through the soft flickering of these kind of oil lanterns around you and the very nice checkerboard print on the stone floor. It it just makes you feel like there's inevitably going to be a pressure plate at some point. So you're very, very cautiously kind of moving through the space. You don't find anything though, even as you're moving through. Uh, Kind of taking one step, maybe a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, just to kind of test the waters. But nothing triggers. And as you head down that way, as you approach this statue, you find that at that intersection, there is a large arch to your left. There is another large set of double doors over to your right. And you also see two smaller doors, singular doors, off of there as well. Seems like this is quite a heavy traffic area.
Yeah, quite the intersection.
Mhm.
Onair, in the next 6 seconds, will come back and so that he doesn't have to yell across the hallway, and relay what he saw on the right side. I see some more doors. There's one large one and two small ones. The other side has an arch. I don't know, maybe something down that hallway.
Any indication of which direction's the way out?
Hey, I'm just taking it one step at a time. I don't want to trigger anything. Next thing you know, you see how I am. If I step the wrong way, it's not going to be pretty.
Sure.
When we were planning out this job, did me and Esha get like a map of this, or as much of this, like maybe not the dungeon level, but then like the level above, which would be more sort of public record, one would assume?
In terms of the dungeon level, you would have received like information on that. But in terms of this upper level, as we established last session, a lot of people actually know of this place and have been personally escorted through. So I will go ahead and say this. I will allow those of you who have been arrested before to go ahead and make me a luck check. It's just going to be a straight D20. And we'll see if you get that public knowledge of what's up here.
The
I
sevens
never got
tonight.
You've never been
Yeah.
arrested?
Never been arrested.
All right.
7 is my lucky number.
He's the good influence.
Then in that case, go ahead and roll me a D20 still. You haven't been walked back this way, but you might have come in through a different portion of this building.
Oh, I've definitely had to bail someone out,
There you go.
for sure. Nah.
You've definitely bailed someone out, but one thing that you specifically remembers is the fact that the main area of this has kind of like this parquet flooring where you kind of walk up to almost these stalls to interact with folks. You're not seeing any of that back here, and also the stone isn't what you're used to for the public area of this space. You do feel confident that you're at least in the building, but what you're familiar with from bailing out somebody is nowhere around you.
So we're on the same floor as the public-facing part of the. Okay. Because
Mhm.
I was be like, so I haven't spent a lot of time in the sort of this part of the military-industrial complex sort of prison area. That's not a thing for me, but this is the same level. If we are trying to make an escape without being seen, there's probably another exit around through here. I imagine the other way, and he'll gesture to his right. Just be like, this will probably lead us to, I imagine, the more public-facing area, which, though I would know better, probably is not the place to try and move through is quietly.
Well, you think there's people staffing it in the middle of the night?
I mean,
There might be guards.
yeah. I mean, if you have guards in prisons. We met some before.
As you say this, Arbor, you've had your ears perked up, kind of at this far distance, but you do hear deeper in especially as the doors opened and O'Neill kind of made steps throughout. Um, you get a slight tinge, like the sounds of somebody, not necessarily whispering, but more so a distance between you and whoever the other bodies in this space are.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna hit guards wherever we go. I can hear someone moving around through the hallways.
Escher, you feel this too, as you're kind of directed by Arbor. You're able to tune into it quite easily with your passive, and also pick up on these.
This is more coming from in front of us at the back of the line rather than behind us. Okay.
Yeah, over near where O'Neill had went off to before, kind of retreating back. Good call.
Escher's going to proceed to reach into his backpack, pull out a little pouch, and pour out about 500 ball bearings across the steps going back down the way we came.
Are you trying to do so quietly?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
See if we can do this smoothly.
I'd say so.
Oh, God.
I saw the 8 and I was like, oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I was about to I'll do something to help, and then I saw the number and I'm like, no. Sure.
You see these ball bearings, like the glint of them, as the light from the torch just kind of travels through, and as you're about to say something, you notice that they just trickle down almost silently, just the slightest, like ting ting ting. No resounding echo, but there is an echo, of course. It's Arbor's.
Ouch.
Escher will
The guy
give
just
a
took, like,
slight
a
smile
damage.
to himself in satisfactorily depositing these ball bearings and then quickly toss the pouch with the remainder back into his bag.
I feel as though there is one other thing that we should probably talk about before we move, which is that our two friends here, if we are going to try and escort them out of here, the only way we can really pull that off is if they do not have large burlap sacks over their heads. Because nothing will make people remember something more than just being like, yes, there were, of course, 5 people and 2 people wearing bags.
As you say that, the taller of the two individuals kind of speaks up and just says, yes, I was worried about the same exact instance, though I will say, those who were meant to liberate us did mention that there needs to be an anonymity to those who are releasing us. If you really wish for us to make contact with you, we can absolutely do so. But otherwise, we could close our eyes, I suppose. And the small goblin individual next to him goes, yeah, I can manage closing my eyes. It's great.
I'm sorry, you would close your eyes so you would not see us.
Right, yes.
But it's okay for us to see you?
Absolutely. I suppose that you're not necessarily informed about the secondary part of this job. Getting us out is but one small part of this. There is a specific drop point that we are to be escorted to that I was informed of by one of the guards. Though, admittedly, the bag was over my head at that point, so it could have been anybody.
Escher will again reach into his
DM
backpack and pull out a small cosmetics kit from his disguise kit. And proceed to just pull the sack off of the ones that close your eyes. And then going to just smudge black across their eyelids to make it look like my best job of looking like there's some sort of eye injury.
Okay. Trying to make like some sort of like black eye
Yeah.
almost. Okay. What do you think would correspond with that best? What do you feel like you're leveraging by trying to disguise another? Performance or deception would be your own, but putting it upon somebody else might be.
I'm thinking more on the sleight of hand, just because it's more just the tactile actually smudging on it. I'm not trying to make it look super pretty, so I wouldn't put it in the performance end, but
Yes. Okay. Then you can go ahead and roll sleight of hand. You are pulling off the bag off of the taller individual.
yeah, I'm starting with him. He's eye level.
Yeah,
It's a little bit easier.
As you pull off the bag, you see what seems like a very handsome vampire individual. Has these strands of hair that seem to be quite matted and messy, but for the most part, a very nice silky brown color that seem to kind of move downwards. And he has very soft features, although he is the patron race of Noctalis. You would all kind of be familiar with this.
Go one worse than the last one, but
You do quite well with yourself in terms of doing this. You get no struggle, and this individual actually leans in to kind of assist with it. You make quite a convincing eye injury upon this individual.
any complaints, or is this going to be okay?
No, this is perfectly fine. I appreciate your assistance in the matter, I suppose. And
It's great for you. I meant the rest of them. I got to work with a team.
he turns for all of you to see.
I mean, yeah, go for it.
Whatever works.
C'est parfait.
All right, he'll do the same for the little one.
Ooh, okay.
We did much better.
Nice.
Yeah. As you go ahead and remove the bag, you see these just bright eyes, an excited look on this goblin's face as he goes, "Oh, I am so excited for this," and kind of like leans up. He does react adversely to any sort of substance you put on his face. He's narrating the fact that that feels kind of cold. He says, "Ugh, I don't know about that. That kind of stings a little bit." And the vampire individual just goes, "Could you please shut up? We are the only two who are making noise right now." And he very much simmers down, and you are able to complete your work, which looks debatably better than what you were able to do on the much taller, slender vampire.
She'll just kind of look, do a little stroke of the beard, and then, feeling satisfied, put his kit back away.
The single tear of irritation really sells it, as you are able to properly disguise these two. But they keep their eyes closed, and the vampire says, "All right, business continued. I will mention, I believe that we are in the Flame District currently, and the drop point that was introduced to me was at the Wave District's docks. So that might be a little bit of traversal, but I suppose shouldn't be much of a problem if you are actively sneaking us out of the dungeon."
DM, were we given any information or instructions about a drop point?
You were not. No.
Okay, lovely.
Can you make me a history check, though, Arbor? And then O'Neill?
I was gonna ask to roll an insight check.
Oh, yeah, you can roll insight against them.
Another
Lovely.
straight D20 roll.
Damn, these sevens.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Arbor, for you with your history, you think back very confidently. Yeah, you were given so little information for this, and you maybe got a little bit swept up in the extravagance of what the reward was going to be and who you would be working for. There doesn't seem to be necessarily any more information. And for O'Neill, he seems sincere. The one difficulty about this is the fact that so much of reading a person's kind of like body language has to do with looking into their eyes.
Could I also roll insight?
Yes, you can.
Not much better.
Not much better, but
Again.
he seems to be sincere enough. He has given you no hassle since you let him out, you kind of think back to your brief history with these two. Um,
All right, so which way are we going?
I'd say the way that you just came from. Move quietly, and then try and find a back way out.
Sounds like a plan.
If all goes wrong, we know that if we come back here, and well, I assume, I do not know for sure, but if we go through this door, we'll be in the main area. At least there is an exit there, so that would be like a secondary egress point.
Do we, before we commit to moving on and just assuming this is going to be the main area
Oh,
on
no,
the
you
way
should
out,
check. Of course.
do we want to check the door first?
Yeah, you should absolutely check the door. You're right. It's a sensible plan.
All right, as they do that, O'Neill is going to go back to where he was before and then check around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you do, you see a long stretch of unimpeded hallway with these small, kind of slit stone windows that seem to be on your right all the way down. There's not much light happening right now, as you went quite late into the sewers. You would imagine that you're probably looking at something a few hours later, but there are torches set up against the wall, giving a brief, intermittent kind of flashing of light. It seems as if they might be magically sustained.
And looking out these windows, what floor are we on? Are we on the base floor or?
You're going to move up to the windows to try to like look out, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step up to this first window.
As you do, it is very dark outside, and you even have to like kind of turn your head ever so slightly in order to properly see out these slit windows. Do you see what seems like grass outside? And say, what are you up to right now?
I'm just slowly walking along the this corridor here. Just I've watched O'Neill sort of go down this way, so I know it's like relatively safe. But I'm sort of like slowly moving along, keeping like a hand on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just listening out because everything's going too well, and I don't trust it.
Fair. So you're keeping like an active kind of like watch on things. You can roll active
Much like
perception then.
Sure.
And is Krellin checking the door? Is that what?
Yeah, I'm assuming if it's locked, we need to open it. So.
Yeah. You check it easy enough. It is locked.
Well, I'll pull out my
Sure.
thieves tools.
Not that he
You're not
needs
giving
it, but
the
I'm going to
whole
give him
action.
the help.
Okay, I was gonna say
Okay.
if you weren't, I would move over and help. So awesome. Nice.
Dude, you can roll a 20 without advantage? Come on.
Is that with the extra +3 from your masterwork?
It's a +2, but yeah.
Oh, extra +2.
It's
So
+9
29.
without him.
Oh, okay, it's +9 without. Okay, yeah, so it is with it. Lovely.
Let me see, because I need to pull your echo here. There we go. That's what we. Now you should control granted, Ripper.
Yay.
Yeah. Cool.
O'Neill's going to pull back a little, just to.
Easily do so. And Zay, as you are standing there, hand on the wall, trying to take this more active role, you are able to clock O'Neill before he actually kind of steps over through this arched way once again, and you do hear the sounds of voices from over off to the right of the corner.
I'll if Ernest walking back, I'll sort of like gesture to him to move like a little closer. Do this. Point to the side. How many voices do I hear? Would you say?
With your 22, you hear 2.
So, come over here. Stay silent. And then I'll go 2 to the right.
Onair will try to understand. Hopefully he does, and he'll at
I'll-
least understand. Come
I
here.
will do a performance if necessary for this.
Yeah, give me a performance, and Onair, give me an insight.
Oh,
We'll be looking at the disparity between these two rolls.
Another 7 though.
That's okay.
I love wisdom rolls.
Hey,
Look at that.
Hey!
perfectly interpret. Zay, you feel like maybe you're not doing the best job, but Onair, you've got it on lock.
Stealing second.
Onair will try to silently move through the corridor back towards Zay.
And as this happens, we hop over to Krellin, who is being assisted in trying to open this door. Unfortunately, with your 27, you are unable to open this door. As you're looking at it, it seems like the lock starts to slowly shift. But as you do, you hear the sounds, a slight clicking of multiple tumblers. This door seems to be even further reinforced. And as you look through the space in between, you not only notice that there is a large bolt, but you also notice that there is a wooden beam that seems to cross over the door. Outer. Very, very heavily guarded.
Oh, this is a strange one. Bit more difficult than I expected. It also seems like there may be reinforcements from the other side. I don't know if we would have get out this way.
Well, that's I suppose that's that. Other way.
Only way to go.
Did you go that way? Arbor, what are you doing with your echo?
Right now, I think I'm just. I mean, if you need me to roll another perception, I can. I think he's still just monitoring a little bit. And did I pick up just from like looking around the like little hand gestures Zay was doing?
I'd say so. You rolled a high enough active earlier that this would still sustain and you would see that. Now, in terms of deciphering them, that would be another thing. As you're innately used to Krellin's hand signals, you know another's hand signals as well, though admittedly they use their birds for contact maybe a little bit more often than not. So if you want to roll insight against Zay.
Or
Yeah, seems quite crude to just angle off. It looks like Zay's hitchhiking, and a little difficult for you to hide your disgust with it. But you interpret it.
So if the coming from the left, we want to try to go through the doors on the right.
I'll do as Escher moves up. I'll like sort of I'll put my hand backwards and I'll do like a little crude minor illusion which shows like the rough corridor and two like almost like stick figures to the right making like with like noise coming from them. Just so you can see it. Yeah.
You make these yapping illusory stick figures.
I do South Park animation real quick and on a tight budget.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Arbor, whatever that means to you based on your prior interpretation of Zay's hand gestures.
Sure. Yeah. No, I got it. So, if the people are that way, go that way.
I will. I've still got like the. Can I like sort of peek my head round the corner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. you easily do so. You notice the door off to the left, single door. Door off to the right, kind of like on the corner of this wall that you're already on, and then the double doors kind of beyond that. Very, very familiar to the others. On the opposite side that Krellin and Escher were working with. If you want to go ahead and roll me another history check, you may.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
DM question.
Mm-hmm.
The windows that Onair walked up to, what were the slats made of?
It was all
Like
stone.
Stone? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of this like gothic frame, and then it almost seems like the stone just continues inwards until there is just a thin kind of cut out of the stone. So you had to kind of like move to where the slits of your eyes aligned with the slit of the stone.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, with that, Zay, you recall that the lobby of this space had two doors off the left and right of it. And there was also a large kind of setback, that like a teller style window where all of the individuals would sit who would help you with bales and things like that. And your hand might just be on that, the wall of such a space.
Okay, I will just check something. I'll to Onair, I'll like sort of like bring my hand up to like my mouth and point at him so I can do message. And I'll just explain. I'll just be like, it looks as though this is another one of the entrances to the main area. It looks like this bit to our right is probably the setback part where the tellers are. There is a... Obviously, you saw the door to your left. When you on your left, was there a way that you could see out, or was it just a corridor?
Remind me, does message allow me to respond mentally?
I believe so.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Onair will respond that there is a corridor, and along the corridor there are windows, but they're all very small, like slits, so there's probably no way to traverse out there. But he will also note that they are most likely on the first floor.
Can I ask a question about the statue?
Mm-hmm.
What is the statue of?
Go ahead and roll me a religion check.
Another 7.
Damn, he's sevens.
Yeah.
Okay. You're looking at it. How would you say your knowledge of religion is?
Somewhat lacking, I feel. I wasn't really raised religiously. I have like the two that I sort of like follow, but they're unlikely to be, I feel, in a hall of prison / justice.
Who do you follow?
It's Datus and Nactalis.
Luckily, with your 14, you're able to piece together, it's definitely not one of those two. And as you're kind of thinking about it, you're like, being in a jail, like, knights are like the diametric opposite of what I do. Your mind drifts to the diametric opposite of Noctalis, the goddess Blight Aurora, and also one in charge of justice, which makes sense.
It tracks. I guess I'm also going to move to the, like, relatively suddenly to the left. Go and check out this thing that I know mentioned.
Onair will just like continuously follow in line.
You see 5 slit windows on the right of where you are, and it seems that this hallway moves downwards and seems to hook off over to the left. So everybody slowly kind of moves through. At this point, if I could have everybody go ahead and make me a stealth check. If you are moving stealthily through. If you're not, don't worry about it.
If you were to accidentally
Yeah,
close
sure.
the map, how would I
Mhm.
go?
Go to images.
I can
Thank you.
share it again. There. Would that work for you?
Asher, if you're if you still look like a guard, do you want to be taking point on this?
I suppose.
The fact that Krellin got the lowest stealth is wild to me.
Hey, it's not lost on me. It's
Even
not
with my
lost
disadvantage.
on me. Fortunately, we
no!
are escorting some people out of this space. And that.
Damn, nat 1.
Well, the vampire made up for it.
Here's the deal.
All right, Saga, what are we re-rolling?
What? Rolling the NPC?
That or Krellin?
Krellin.
Whoever
Krellin
wants to
rolls.
claim it. She said, so.
Krellin, go for it.
Oh my god!
Even worse.
Nope.
Damn.
How is it worse?
Well,
Dice gods are not with me.
anybody who rolled over a 20. So that'll be Zay,
She
that'll be
redeemed
Escher.
again.
Jeez. Krellin, go for it again.
Arbor.
Let's see.
Arbor as well, yes.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Still not Krellin.
So Arbor, Escher, and Zay, you all three are extremely light on your feet, kind of moving through this space, and you hear this goblin individual kind of just bumbling through the hallway. Those three specifically, you have the opportunity to go ahead and assist in some capacity.
And the goblin's pretty small, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can the echo just like scoop him up and put him on his shoulder?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like quickly picking up the goblin.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As you do so, you hear that kind of seems to echo through the space a little bit as this vampire just slaps their face, and as they pull off their hand, now their hand is full of makeup.
Amateurs.
Where you are, and Arbor, where you are, you both hear the sound of a person saying, what was that? And another voice going, I don't know. You really think it's worth checking in on? And one says, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else going on. Let me go ahead and check on it. And Krellin and Arbor, you both hear it specifically from this area here. You hear the movement of wood on wood. And what would everybody like to do?
Do the three of us in the hallway hear it?
No, you do not.
Okay.
In the area directly above where Krellin is, or where the statue is, are there
Yeah.
any areas that would be considered shadowed or dim light?
Indeed, there are two banners against the wall. If you were to pull one of those banners, it would very much cast a shadow on the stone behind it.
Cool.
So
He's
any
just gonna take a
obfuscation.
couple steps up into this area right here.
Mm-hmm.
And if he notices any steps coming, like if he feels like anyone's gonna step around the corner, he's gonna shadow step through the banner shadow. I think I can do 60 feet. Double check that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 60 feet. Probably back around the corners right there.
Okay. Arbor?
Arbor, how far can I move in this instance?
It
He's going to
would
quickly...
technically be a full action. You have a...
Okay.
opportunity to respond.
Yeah, he's going to quickly dart back and kind of put a hand on the vampire's shoulder. Say, go back around the corner. And just kind of slowly guide him, and because the echo can move on its own and carry the goblin.
Okay.
Hopefully we can make it around the corner here.
Yeah, I would say so. You're able to have your echo kind of push through with the goblin, and you are able to direct the vampire around the corner. And as this happens, you have this individual step out from this door.
That's Kevin.
It is Kevin. So this knight in just assortment of kind of like plate, some of it kind of tarnished, some of it ill-fitting as well. The pauldrons kind of mishmashed. Kind of stand there. They go ahead and take a stick from their side and kind of light it on the oil lantern that is extremely close. And as they do, they kind of hold it out and say, is anybody there? Would anybody like to respond?
Escher will just peek out around the corner if he can hear this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You peek out, you see this. A very scrawny, kind of elven individual. They have their helmet is just kind of like almost over their brow entirely. They seem quite scrawny, but they stand there with this torch.
All right, he'll peek around the corner, kind of blocking O'Neill back behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just doing some rounds.
Oh, okay. Are you going to the training hall?
Well, it's just checking the back hallway. I mean, we just don't want anybody wandering about up here.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, goodness, you spooked me.
Sorry, I had an itch. Kind of let out a little exclamation.
Okay. If you want to, we have a little bit of ale in here. If you want to come, chill. Just me and another night watch. But if you don't want to, it's fine. Keep on.
Yeah,
Hold
I'll
up the torch.
finish the round. I might swing back in there. Good stuff.
No.
I
But
figures.
just told it would put hair on my chest. So
Good luck with that.
thank you. Kind of pats this plate and kind of shambles backwards from the sheer shock of it. But go ahead and roll me your deception check, Asher.
This whole time, Krellin is just staring right at Escher, like, please don't say something stupid.
Yeah, the helmet kind of shifts even more forward. He very quickly adjusts it, shakes out this kind of torch, and heads back to the inside of this room, closing the door behind him.
Escher will just look down the hallway, see if he can see any of the rest of the party.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Krellin, whenever you're kind of by this banner, are you fully obscured in shadow?
I'd be ready to just kind of flap the banner real quick to create the shadow area.
Okay. But you're still kind of obviously there.
Yeah. So I'd be standing in clear sight of Escher.
Okay. Yeah. Then you catch Krellin on one side, but down on the other side, you don't really see anything too much. It seems like Arbor efficiently you have pulled both of these individuals as well as your Echo and yourself into a really solid hiding spot.
Escher will look to Krell and just be like, where?
See Arbor pop out.
Yeah, just kind of stick
Motion
stick the
quickly.
snout out around the corner.
Do you need a performance check for
Performance and insight, baby. No, you're good.
Stealthy as I can.
Okay.
Yeah, and Onair will turn to Zay and just go quizzically. Training room?
Maybe there is a way out through the training room? I don't know what they're They train guards? Not well, judging by these so far.
Beats the hell out of me.
I
But,
don't see any
better
other
this way.
exit, so
Yeah,
We
better
go?
this way than
No.
worst comes to worst, we
Keep
go and
moving.
take the rail.
Keep moving before they come back out.
Great, you don't have to push. Jeez.
Escher will pull up the rear just in case anybody does pop out.
Man, I'm never gonna get over just being able to click a check mark on everybody's movement.
Control.
And then the Echo has this goblin individual. You continue to move down, and both Zay and Donir, as you're kind of moving down, you notice there's a glint that seems to catch from the light of the sconce kind of right in front of you, Zay. You see what looks like a small kind of like weapon, almost.
I'll inch a little bit closer again with my hand on the wall as I did previously to try and sort of make sure I'm not walking into something.
Yeah, you see a weapon rack that seems to be kind of stocked with a few javelins and also a multitude of arrows kind of sat as well.
Again, I'll sort of peek my head sort of round the corner.
See a second weapon rack right next to it and a closed door around the corner.
So I'll move just to sort of here.
Okay.
Just to then sort of like usher everyone sort of down. And then I'll do a message to Krellin, which will just be like, another locked door, my friend.
He'll kind of look your way and just give a slight nod, and he'll move forward. Let's see if he can tackle this lock.
Righty.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Ah.
we are one now.
I was going up to give the help action to Krellin was my intention. So.
Oh, okay. That's probably better. I was just following in line.
How do I separate your tokens?
We'll take the 23.
Try holding control and then selecting one. No? Okay.
Or one of them can move.
Just
delete the
one
token and
then
put them back on.
Spawn it back in.
That's probably the
Okay.
simplest way. I know there's a hotkey to do it. We just don't run into it too terribly often.
Fine. I'm so sorry. There we go.
Arbor, where'd you go? Where's Arbor?
As you go ahead and kind of pop your thieves tools into this, it seems the complexity of this lock is much less than the second door that you tried. Little even keel with the first one that you unlocked prior. You clip up, you're able to go ahead and hack through, and the door opens before you.
Yeah, he'll kind of just peek out and around, see what he sees.
As you do, you see a stark contrast to the dark amber and kind of navy that seems to kind of move through this space of checkerboard tiles. You see grass, as well as a small dirt patch as you're looking out, you see that this seems to be some sort of exterior.
Kind of just look back to Arbor, give a bit of a dream, be like, he's outside.
If
You
that's
know,
outside, we can get out.
step through.
You step outside, you see, now that you're fully in this space, a very small kind of like exterior field. As Arbor kind of moves out in the space as well, you notice some hay-made targets kind of set up around with bullseyes on them. If you even seem to have arrows crudely sticking out, or the broken shaft of them at least. And there is a small kind of half wall around the entire area, kind of slightly encasing it in. You can tell that the field itself is worn with a lot of footfalls, although many of them seem to match the same kind of footprints. And you see beyond that, full grass at the back of another building, and flowers kind of set out before you in the dark of night.
So is this sort of like a courtyard where there's building on all sides, or is there a side where it might be just like a wall leading to the outside world?
It's like a short kind of like a stone fencing around you, and then you now see kind of the exterior of the building itself. Similar windows to the ones you had seen inside, but rather than the thin splits, you actually notice this very nice corner, kind of like a radial top, and then also kind of two stems of windows that drop down from the area kind of like over here and around the side of the building.
So if we
go ahead.
sorry, I'm still just trying to get the layout. So like if we hop this wall, it's just we can just like run off into the night.
Presumably.
Okay.
There's a brief stretch before you hit the exterior of what seems like another building, but there's enough space to go on either side of it. And you hear in the distance the sounds of busyness on what would presumably be Six Bell streets.
And how tall is this half wall?
Half wall is like 5 feet. Reasonably protected. Some might be even fully obscured by its height, but some of you taller folks probably are peeking over just a bit.
Super tall. You said that we passed those armaments. How many javelins were there?
Go ahead and roll me a d6. Just by 3 javelins. And if you're looking at the arrows as well, or just the javelins?
Just the javelins for Onair.
3.
Yeah, Onair will go ahead and readily scoop them up.
All right, you easily do so. You kind of scoop them up, and as you do, you notice a small plaque on the weapon racks that says, "Be kind and return what you take."
Onair's gonna keep walking.
Okay.
Before exiting out into the courtyard where the other 3 are, Escher wants to do a quick pat-down search of each of our 2 quarries.
Okay.
What do I need to roll?
If you're just patting them down,
I'm looking to see if there's anything on them that might lead to being magically tracked or anything like that. So any sort of object on them in pockets. I don't know exactly what they're wearing specifically as to whether there might be something like that.
they're wearing extremely tattered clothes, no longer rocking their burlap sacks. But you can go ahead and make me a... Let's go ahead and say a sleight of hand. No, let's go ahead and do investigation. And pat down. Makes sense.
Oh, I should have let Zay do this instead.
Can I?
All right, we'll take that.
Nice.
Every time it looks like you need help, I'm just like,
Um, you go to pat down the vampire individual first, or the goblin individual who's being held aloft by Arbor's Echo.
I'd go with the vampire.
Okay. As you do hear, oh, okay. And you see they very compliantly kind of put their arms out.
It's just for everybody's safety.
No, I absolutely understand. They slightly kind of like turn around for you. They 360. They are fully compliant with your search. You don't find anything on them.
Okay.
You see that there is just the tattered tunic that they kind of wear, this like almost like blouse with like a deep V. There's not even any lace to kind of connect it. And then they also wear raggedy kind of slops. And they are barefoot.
Escher will just motion, giving the lead is a towards the goblin.
I also got an audible command to that because they're actively not looking at us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Roll it up.
Through the door, and freedom awaits.
Are you patting down the goblin or no?
Yeah, I'll pat down the goblin if he's doing the vampire.
Yeah, yeah.
So do I need to investigate? Is it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
No, you go ahead and pat on the goblin. You get back, and then they immediately kind of shut their mouth. You see that instinctually they're trying their best. And as you search them over, you don't find much either. For your Echo Arbor, are you just bridle carrying this goblin? Are you picking him up by the scruff of the neck?
No, it's like over the shoulder. Like
Oh.
he's like this with him, and he's like just kind of flopped over the shoulder.
Okay, yeah.
Can I ask the Echo to present him like Rafiki presented Simba?
The Echo will not respond.
I'll just check him while he's over his shoulder then.
Yeah. As you're checking him over, you notice that he shudders intermittently as you're kind of like touching spots. You feel like deep grooves in the back of this individual. But as you're checking over for any sort of objects, you don't find anything.
I'll give a thumbs up to Escher. Be like, nothing I can see.
Can Arbor, kind of looking over the wall and once again listening, just try to like give a quick look out to see if there's anyone or anything around us?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a new perception since you're in a new environment. Looking around, no. You do catch the sound of most of the like busyness seems to be from kind of beyond this building that you're kind of like back to right now. And actually where Krellin is seems to be the most steady stream of kind of noise. But that's about it. Doesn't seem like there's anybody about, though. No bodies in the space or anything like that.
Alright, seems like just one wall and we're done.
Keep our wits about us. There's definitely people out there.
Right, but they don't suspect us. They're just going about their lives. Just don't act like a fool.
Might I suggest the one away from the windows? Hop this wall? As he
Yeah, Kron's just
thumbs
keeping
over his
the
shoulder.
wall. Probably the best idea.
Arbor's just going to easily jump the wall.
Alrighty. Are you doing anything flashy as you're vaulting over it, or are you just climbing yourself up and kind of hopping over?
No, just like, yeah, he's trying to be stealthy right now, not flashy.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you easily are able to bring yourself over.
Escher will
Um,
usher the quarries up and over the wall.
Okay, cool. And you're going specifically around, so you're kind of bringing.
Yeah, I'm letting the goblin use the target to be able to go up and over that wall.
Fair, fair.
He needs a leg up.
The goblin will probably just be passed from Echo to someone, either probably me or O'Near, up on top. It was being carried.
Yeah,
Yep, Colin will go hop over the wall over there.
and taking up the rear, Asher. You're gonna hop over last.
Yeah, once there's room, I'll hop over there too.
There's actually like over down and to the left. There is like a thin space.
Wherever you
wanna
want to
go
put me.
Boom. You
Climb
can
on
here.
O'Near's shoulders and make him give me a ride around.
Yeah, the Echo would be offering like boosts up to anyone that needs it.
How tall is that shirt?
6.
That's comical. That is comical.
It
He
is.
just wants the ride.
It is.
I don't need the
I
boost.
mean, they're strong enough.
Yeah. You are each able to go ahead and kind of like make your way over this. Easy enough.
To the west, down this, is there an exit down there, or is that just a wall?
If you go back to the west, it seems like there's like more buildings back there. Seems like you're hitting like kind of against some other businesses. Doesn't necessarily look like residences over in this area, but there's a clear, well-trodden path opposite as well. So, two paths diverge in a 6 spells. And do you take the lesser traveled?
These woods these are.
Whichever one goes further away from this building.
DM, would we know which one is the fastest to the Wave District from here?
Yeah, so let me go ahead and pull up the next map then. This is going to be what? Oh. Trying here.
You know,
let
my
me do
bingo
this.
card didn't have Robert Frost tonight.
There we go.
See,
Yeah.
Mine did, and that made all the difference.
So currently, you all are in the Flame District. That is where you kind of like went through for the dungeons. You made quite a travels through the city's sewers in order to make your way over there. If you look up towards the top right of the map, that wedge is the Flame District. The Wave District, presumably where this place, this drop point that the vampire individual is talking about, is over there near the docks, up towards the very top center. And then the Shadow District, where you all met for the underneath the Dark Gate, that would be over off the wedge next to that. So you're looking at about the top 3, the top half of the city, thereabout.
So, Krellin has the city secrets feature from his background. So we can traverse twice as fast, essentially, going across the city. So, like, is this a building I'm standing at the corner of?
Yes, it is. We'll go ahead and say that for simplicity. That's what I was about to do, actually. I don't know who just drew that in black.
I did.
Hey! Great minds
So-
think alike.
Krellin will quickly climb up to the top of the building, just kind of look around a little bit, and then hop before hopping back down and saying, "I know a quick way. Follow me."
Okay, as you're climbing this building, are you trying to be discreet at all?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check, please.
cool. I've completely forgot I have advantage of those plus my load.
Yes, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was kind of
until you're
wondering.
recognized. Hey, we still appreciate Saga giving those rerolls to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would have needed them.
Yeah, you're climbing up the building. You're easily able to kind of like move around it. Let's go ahead and also have you do an acrobatics check just to see kind of how much time this is consuming in terms of efficiency. Oh yeah.
That was
Nice.
exciting.
That 4 was dangerous there for a moment.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
You kip up on some of the bricks, some of the kind of landings of this building, and you notice that up near the top, there's almost like a small spire that you can kind of like hang on to and kind of like get the lay of the land a little bit. There's unfortunately no wagon carts filled with hay for you to leap of faith off into, but you get a good lay of the land. The docks.
Onair puts his hands out for Ellen.
I don't know if it's just that. It's very high up at this point. It isn't necessarily that this keep has multiple floors vertically, but it does have a lot of like ornamentation. You would imagine that there's a lot of kind of like vaulted ceilings, like barrel roofing that kind of extends, and so it almost gives it this cathedral-esque appearance. But you catch sight of where the docks are, and you feel pretty confident that you can go ahead and direct everybody to that area over there. You coming down?
Yeah, I'll make my way back down. Get back with the rest of the room black ball. I know which way we need to head. And probably find a quick route there.
All right, lead on.
Escher will take a moment while he's doing his scouting to, again, change appearance.
Mm-hmm. What you opting for this time?
We're going to go for a good sailor outfit. Not a mom dressing up their child sailor outfit.
Darn it.
I saw
Darn
that,
it.
Ollie.
I needed the capelet, I needed the red kind of bow. We'll get it.
Not Scoops Ahoy here, so...
Just a giant lollipop.
The
Jesus,
blue and
blush.
the white.
So much blush. It's just blood on your cheeks.
Oof.
Pretty rough outfit, a little bit dingy. Definitely looks like been working the ships. Not anything extravagant. Doesn't look like working anything high end. Just some basic merchant vessels. And then always got to keep the dashing good looks appearance though. So taking the inspiration from Onair and Ollie complimenting the blonde before, he's going to stick with the blonde.
All right.
As a polar opposite to that, as he makes himself look rougher and more ready, I use prestidigitation to clean dungeon grime off my outfit.
Onair will turn to you and ask for it. Please, please. It's,
No, yep. I do the same
it's been
thing.
awful.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'm just like, it's so bad. I don't know why, but they just. I don't know how dungeons smell, but now I know.
You see the goblin just full on arm up, just like taking a deep huff underneath their kind of tattered blouse almost.
I'm just like, it's a look.
But yeah, with Krellin's guidance, you feel like you can easily make your way over towards the docks. You're just moving through.
Yeah. Stealth checks?
I suppose kind of keep to the shadows, not conspicuously, but...
Now, I will give the option of this. You can either group stealth check, if you would like to, or you can go ahead and group performance in order to kind of intersperse yourself into the civilians that seem to be kind of moving through the streets at this time of night. Maybe even break off into cells every once in a while and kind of reunite. Nothing like fully splitting the party. God, nothing like fully splitting the party. But just kind of like serpentining across the street so that you don't arouse any suspicion. I'll leave the option up to you as a group. as the vampire and goblin opt to fully follow your lead, as they are still both blinded.
Hmm.
I have a +1 to performance. I mean, it's not the worst.
I have a -1 to performance.
Krellin's Krellin's doing okay. Arbor's ace is charisma.
We got a +3 over here.
I was like, can Krellin and I choose stealth and the rest of them choose performance?
Well, they're following me.
I know.
You can't follow someone that you can't see.
Either works for me.
Let's try to
think it
blend
would-
with the crowds.
I think it would draw more attention to ourselves if we try and hide actively.
All right. And in that case, everybody can go ahead and roll it up.
Oh, pray for me, folks.
Suspiciously
Oh my god!
as a vampire.
Consistent with everyone else.
Hey, Saga.
Naturally.
Can you
This
help
is a
us?
suspicious vampire walking through the streets at night. When else are they supposed to walk the streets? Ooh.
Yeah. As you're walking through, Zay, Escher, feel extremely confident kind of moving through. To the point where even though you're surrounded by these 5 others who are implicating themselves so hard that they are not supposed to be here, you do not arise suspicion from yourselves. But out of everybody, the 2 that arise the most are the ones that are wearing tattered cloth. As you move through the streets, you very obviously see some looks. Battered and beaten, black eyes, and wearing tattered clothing, as they seem to be led about by these 3 others that have quite intimidating looks upon them. One clad in this kind of like dark hood and cloak. Another that seems to be a very, very official kind of individual walking with kind of just this staunch, gruff look on their face. And the third, just a menacing kind of presence, is Arbor, Krellin, and O'Neill. It looks like you've taken these 2 prisoner.
Can I, in an attempt to try and draw attention to the fact that they are looking like that, just sort of turn and just be like, I tell you, you guys have absolutely got the look. This is perfect. This is what we need to bring to this stage. This is, you are looking so despondent. You are looking so beaten and bruised. I know it's just makeup, but oh, they have done such a fantastic job. And you guys, you're looking so vicious and strong, and you're definitely giving me the essence of dominance, which is what we're looking for. So it's the kind of thing, which is why we have come out to the street to do this. It is kind of a way to see like how other people will observe you as you do this, and how you interact with people. So when you bring this to the stage, it is very important that you have this sort of thing where you're ignoring what the people are thinking. You are doing your jobs, and I'll point to the 2 in the middle, and you 2, you have no hope remaining.
O'Neill will try and like take lead from that and go and like change his personality in a way and be more animated. And you go, oh, thank you. I really need this job. Tell me what.
Stay in character.
Sorry. And we'll come back into being
As
O'Neill.
you insert yourself into this role again, roll me a performance check once again, please. That will grant you advantage.
Can I make a history check to see if I know something that I know as a player?
Not much better.
Sure.
Like,
Yes.
honestly,
As to something that's in the Wave
They should be
District.
Oh.
Zay should be making a deception check, honestly.
The performance alone, nobody is suspecting Zay at all. It's actually artful. everybody's just like, oh, that's obviously a director. You even hear like whispers on the sides of the streets, just like I didn't know there was any sort of like troupe here. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, they look incredible. And you're getting compliments. Um, O'Neill, slight improvement as you drop into your role once again. You get a few eyes averting off of you, but most eyes seem centered on the two walking in tattered clothes. As yes, you may go ahead and make a check, Escher, as to what you're hoping to know.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't imagine. Maybe. I don't know. 8's not
I-
horrible, but
Don't you have that inspiration for that joke from last session?
That you do.
you know, yeah.
I
It
think
seems like
it's
an interesting
important.
place to use it, but yeah.
Interesting.
What's more important than lore?
Oh.
Dirty
Lord.
20? Yeah.
Ooh.
So what were you hoping to know about, Escher?
This
No, Lake District.
lovely building there is a theater. I don't recall the name off the top of my head, but I assume you have
The
that
Six
lore
Bells
doc.
Entertainers Guild.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh no, we're non-union. This is terrible.
Hey, it's fine. Residuals. Yeah, there is indeed a theater, and as you're kind of moving through, Krellin, you know that the easiest way to go would be kind of traversing through this kind of path here, through to the docks. And for you, Escher, would you want to communicate, then maybe passing by the theater, or how are you disseminating this information at all?
No, Escher was just going to piggyback on the performance that's being given about this is some sort of performance and just try and add on to it.
How would you like to?
Everybody, yes, you can catch our show here in 1 week at the Six Bells Entertainers Guild, located in the Wave District. Please come. It will be a great show. And just kind of just like shouting that out in general in all directions to hopefully smooth some things over.
Roll me that deception check.
Gladly.
Oh,
Nice.
beautiful.
Ooh, baby.
As you do so, a small girl kind of comes up to you, just this human, about 8 years of age, very young. You see that not far behind her, man and a woman kind of stood there holding hands together, the woman looking very proud as she has her hand on her chest. This girl with pigtails comes up to you, Arbor, and says, if my dad wants to go ahead and see the show, do you have any flyers or anything so that we can come and see it? You said it was in 1 week, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just an actor. You should talk to the director over there.
Do I
If you
see
want
this?
that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
you see it, you see it.
The moment he starts talking, I sort of smoothly move over, and I'm just like, I sort of like crouch down. I'm just like, unfortunately, we are still waiting for the pamphlets to finish to be printing, but we are hoping that tomorrow we'll be able to give them out, and then you should all come and see. It is a beautiful piece of theater.
Okay, my dad really likes the theater.
Well, I am sure he will love this as well.
Okay.
And I'll look up to the mother and just be like, she has a look about her. Has she considered the stage as a career?
The mother just kind of like blushes and looks to the side, and the dad just goes, well, as long as you're not casting her like one of those prisoners. And he gives a laugh that makes the entire street uncomfortable. Just a solid 10-foot radius of just everybody turns and looks, office style looks towards the camera, and then they resume their day.
I try and like laugh with him like a little bit, but I'm just like in a more sort of like just trying to like lower the volume. I'm just like, no. This is not the role for her. These are people who have fully committed themselves to the craft. They are, how you say, method. method actors.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, we will definitely see. The Entertainers Guild you mentioned?
That is correct. In 1 week's time.
Brilliant. Does your performance have a name?
Of
Or your
course it
troupe,
does.
even?
The troop, we are called the Lord Chamberlain's Men. It is a joke amongst other people who visit the theater. But the show itself is called Our Mistress is the Sea, which is why we are walking towards what is it called? A dock.
Right, right. Well, carry on. Eleanor, can you, and you see the little girl go, okay. And she kind of like runs back. You notice that she has like, as she's walking, like her pigtails kind of like dance from side to side. And she goes back over, and the three of them kind of look on in a pride, hoping to support the arts as patrons. And yeah, you head off, having expertly made your way through this. Zay's time to shine is you definitely did not do any sort of talking when you first entered the dungeon. Yeah, you move through. You're easily able to make it over towards the docks. As you go ahead and progress through, you find yourself falling into sort of a repetition, having to catch the eyes of a few individuals, pass it off as a sort of performance. You have a few varied kind of individuals come up to you with sort of unspoken bravery as they interact, ask about their show. You're able to easily sustain any deceit that you've kept up until this point, and you eventually make your way over towards the docks. The only problem is, you're at the docks, and there was mention of a drop point. These docks are massive. They seem to stretch across quite a large space of the city. And you see that there are men, even at this late an hour, lifting up large kind of crates and barrels. You see a few individuals with tricorn hats barking orders. You see some setting up rigging on ships as the salty scent of the sea assails your nostrils. For some, quite a pleasant smell, especially juxtaposed with the dungeon scent that you smell not too long before. And for others, maybe it's something a little bit more new, as you've kept to 6 spells for almost all of your life, and you've really only dreamed of visiting far-off places. What would you like to do as you approach the docks, though?
You're kind of trying to turn back towards the people that were leading. Any more details about where exactly in the docks our drop point is?
Oh, right. My apologies. Some warehouse owned by a family. I think it was the Darm family.
And do any of us recall like a Darm family?
You can go ahead and make a history check if you would like.
I've done some scouting around. Let's see. Nah.
Whew. Yeah.
Figure if they
Okay.
have a factory, they're pretty famous.
Yeah, yeah. There is
A warehouse, rather.
indeed a Daharm family. They are quite a large shipping magnate here in Six Bells. They're not necessarily based out of the Wave District. With your 20, Onir, you are actually able to go ahead and pick up on the fact that their house is actually in the Shadow District. And for Zay, with your 16, you would know that there's probably a couple of warehouses down here. Putting 2 and 2 together, you're probably looking more so for one that's going to be kind of signage upon it.
Yeah, Onair will turn to our vampire friend and say, You know, that doesn't really check. I didn't think that they operated here in the Wave District.
No, not too much. And you see that there's this kind of like different tone on the vampire individual as he says this. They have a keep set up in a different part of the city.
And do you know where this is?
Oh, indeed. But sans sight, I am going to have quite a difficulty in being able to pick out any sort of warehouse.
There should be
and-
like signage. There, it's more than likely going to be like marked that it is theirs. It's like a preventative thing. Also, you know, people tend to gravitate to names that they are familiar with. Also, if it's got the harm name on it, people are less likely to do anything improper towards it, I feel.
Sorry, how do you spell this? Because I feel like I'm
Yeah.
missing a syllable.
So harm is DEHARME.
With a
I can go ahead and
capital
put it in the
D,
chat.
lowercase e, capital H.
Yep.
Oh,
I had-
okay.
I had
Oh.
I had D apostrophe capital H.
Ah, oh, they're changing it. I know, I'm just kidding. It is the harm.
Yeah, I was just hearing Darm.
The Darm family.
The Darm.
That darn
Yeah.
family.
Lost
Yeah.
arm.
Meet the Darms.
It's one of them Darm boys again.
Stay out of the darn warehouse.
All right. Yeah. Can we start to like look around and see if there's any sort of following the lead like signage?
You can look, kind of look around.
Yeah. As you are kind of looking around, you do see many of the kind of like fish shops, kind of like the more aquatic butchers, as you will, are kind of set up with small wooden signs kind of set out on a single kind of peg. But in terms of the warehouses proper, they're quite large. These aquatic stables, if you will. I'm just going to keep on making really bad comparisons. You catch sight of a few. Some of them even have like crests kind of set upon them, and you're all kind of moving as just like one group now that you've reached this area, or are you still kind of interspersing yourselves in different kind of areas and kind of reuniting? What's your kind of plan of attack for searching this out?
At this point, since Krellin's done leading the group, he's gonna try to stick to the back and try to stay semi-hidden. Like, he's gonna keep within sight of the group, but trying to be incognito about it to everyone else.
Okay. If you're following behind individuals, who else is kind of like taking up the end? I know earlier Escher you had, but are you kind of pushing more towards the front, kind of helping to keep forward this kind of myth about your show?
No, he'd still stick to the back.
Okay.
Making sure
Asher?
none of the stragglers get lost.
Zay?
No, I imagine like at this point, as I was talking to O'Neill and everything like that, I probably like walked to the front of the group, and I'm just sort of expansively gesturing at things.
Okay. So you have O'Neill, you're still at the front then, in that case? And Arbor, where are you at in terms of this?
I think Arbor's moved towards the front again, and he's starting to do kind of like that dog snuffling, where it's like kind of sniffing out a little bit, and as he's acting sort of almost as like a instinctual, unintentional reaction as he's searching for this warehouse.
Okay. Then in that case, oh, yes, Zay.
I was going to say like an aquatic bloodhound.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. So for Escher and for Krellin, what are your passive insights?
16 for Escher.
17.
17? Ah, then both of you notice this. As the other three have kind of pushed towards the front, you're very much kind of like sandwiching these, the ones you have liberated. And as you're looking, you notice that the vampire individual seems a lot more tense. Very much shown by the fact that they're just continually kind of like flexing a fist at their side, veins kind of like bulging ever so slightly. And you see that they are now holding the hand of the goblin individual as well, as they both continue to kind of walk through the space.
All right. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Being as Escher has been here for in Six Bells for a good amount of time. Zay as well, so this kind of goes for him too. But we recognize these individuals at all now that we are bags off the heads?
I will say this, the fact that you both specifically put the makeup on their faces, you can absolutely go ahead and make some history checks for me.
Okay. Boy, that was like the weakest little roll I could have dropped. Did it not go?
God.
Oh no!
I will use the inspiration I got from last session to reroll
Perfect.
that.
I will go
Because
ahead
that
and
is-
let you.
That is Paul. Actually, do I need to if he's already rocking this?
I
Yeah,
mean, would you
I'll
know
do
that
it.
he's rocking it? Yeah.
No, I'll do it. That's what I got.
Okay.
Much better,
solid,
much
solid.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to roll one for each, or is it if we recognize one?
No, I'll give you both. So Escher, with your 24, yes. You something does kind of like pop into your mind. Not too long ago, there was a big fuss about the fact that the magistrate was murdered in the city of Six Bells, and they ended up having to kind of restructure things in order to go ahead and accommodate that. There was all of this group. One of them was kind of apprehended, and there was like an execution that happened, but some of the others had gotten away, albeit two were captured. There was specifically a vampire individual and a goblin individual who were jailed, and they were kept. With your 24, you would even know their names, at least their first names. The goblin went by the name of Lyle, and the vampire individual went by the name of Martel. For you, Zay, you make the connection about the fact that these two were part of that very large kind of issue of the magistrate's murder, but placing names is extremely difficult for you.
I'll probably just be mulling it over in the back of my head, trying to place it as I'm doing this. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel it placed in your head.
As Ron notices them kind of acting a little off, he's gonna keep an eye out, be looking for things. Anything that might look like a trap. If it seems like we're walking into an area that would be good for an ambush. If he notices any people maybe following us or keeping an eye on us.
Yeah. You are able to go ahead and keep kind of this like soft focus on everything. If you want to roll a more active perception, you can.
Let's see if I can get better than 13. No.
There's a lot happening though, and especially because you are specifically oriented towards finding this specific warehouse, you're looking at a lot of these different warehouses. Some of them seem to go ahead and be just like slightly open with people moving in and out, very large amounts of cargo. You also see that some of them just sit almost in disuse. A little bit of refuse kind of piled up outside of these large kind of wooden imposing doors. And as you're moving through, you do catch one specific warehouse. One that has this very ornate kind of like triangle towards the apex of the roof. and has a slight bit of kind of like silver gilding on it, and a radial pattern of 3 fish kind of swimming in towards. Think a yin yang, but one more kind of element. No other seems quite as flashy as that, though. Especially the silver this late at night. Ugh.
And that's
What would you like to do?
This seems like everything here would suggest this is the place.
There is quite a far stretch of other warehouses, but this is the only one that has like a visible crest upon it.
Do we recognize the crest?
Yeah, would Onair knowing what the Dharma symbol, like, or the Dharma name is, would he know their symbol?
With your 20, yes, you would, and this would very much match. Triangle with sort of radial pattern of 3 interswimming fish. Nondescript. And they're not koi's, they're not goldfish or anything like that. More so just the silhouettes thereof.
Yeah, Onair will point towards the fish and turn towards the group and say, "Well, I think our warehouse is here. This is the Dharma."
Well,
Gesundheit.
He'll just shake his head.
if I turn back to the 2 we've liberated and just be like, did we just walk in, or is there like a secret knock? I don't know how, like...
The vampire individual kind of, eyes still closed, kind of like shakes out of it, and just goes, no, I didn't really clarify, but I suppose that the seal specifically of the house, it's 3 interspersed fish.
I mean, like, for getting inside the warehouse, do we just knock, or what is the...
Oh, shit, you already
there
found it? That's...
Passcode or...
No, we can be escorted through the back. There's large double doors at the front, but in the back there is a small barred door. If you can go ahead and assist with breaking the lock, we can go ahead and head inside, and we are to wait for a secondary escort.
Cool. Break the lock?
Well, of course, I would never fully suggest breaking the lock, as then you would put it inside of disrepair. But if you cannot manage expertly picking a lock, then brute force, I suppose, is an option.
Then we wouldn't be very accomplished thieves, would we? Kind of like nudge Krellin a little bit with my elbow.
I see what I can do.
All right.
We head around the back? Is there like a obvious way?
Indeed, yeah. There is a sort of kind of like a back wall. It seems to have like a little bit. You're kind of in this kind of back alley between the butts of different warehouses. And you do indeed see a door kind of set off towards the bottom left of this quite large building that has a simple barred door and a lock on it as well. Padlock. Separately chained in.
Yep, Krellin will step up to the lock and see what he can do.
Okay, go ahead and roll
Get
with
the
these
help
tools.
action.
Okay. As you are kind of like picking into it, Krellin, you would know that as you're picking into this lock, you're moving into it, and as you rake through the different kind of layers, it almost seems like they're locking as you're working through it. If you want to go ahead and roll me an investigation check, so you're doing so.
Oh, I don't notice anything.
Yeah, it's like a stupid like trick lock or something. It's very hard to push all of the pins simultaneously. Um, and you are unable to pick the lock on it.
Can I elbow O'Neill in the same way that Arbor elbowed Krillin before, and just be like, clearly they're not very accomplished thieves.
Give a chuckle.
DM, is there like a crack through the door or like or a keyhole or something we can see through the
Yeah, as you go ahead and kind of like look around the edges of the door and like towards the lock, you kind of try to peek through. There's no way to see into the interior. It's like fully flush with it. And are you desperate enough to like get on the floor and like try to look under it and things like that?
yeah, like if just like looking at through the keyhole and looking through the cracks, yeah, sure. If we're around the back and not really many people are around, he'd get down and try to look underneath the bottom.
Roll me an investigation check then.
Damn, what is the door made out of?
The door's made out of wood. So you're looking over it.
Average.
Arbor, you get on the floor. You try to like look under it, right? You can't see anything past it. It looks like it's fully sealed.
Are there any windows in this building?
Oh yeah, there definitely are. They are quite high up the building. You're looking about something that's like 20 feet up in the air, just like panel kind of windows.
Okay. Krellin, what are the odds that this the door is locked? You could still open the handle from the inside. Yeah, you're
muted.
You're muted.
Well, suppose I should climb up there, check the windows as well.
Is there like
Yeah,
any
well,
activity around this place?
You notice a few like rats kind of like moving around, scurrying about with your passive. You do see that there's two individuals kind of like far off. They seem to be having like a conversation, and they are very much focused in themselves. You don't see them even like peek over to try to make eye contact with you at all. They're just kind of stood around,
About how far
almost
away?
fully obscured. You're talking like 15 feet away.
Oh, okay. Like they're having their own shady deal behind the warehouses, sort of feeling.
You could always go and ask.
Escher's gonna head over there.
Okay, perfect. You head over there. Are you heading up stealthily?
No, I'm just gonna walk up and just motion with two fingers.
Yeah, immediately one of them kind of like goes stiff, and the other seems to kind of like shift something before they turn around, and they're both kind of like facing towards you. And it seems like two individuals. One seems to be a Fireheart. They have just this kind of like very light red skin tone, and then it seems also that they have like almost speckles, almost like pigmentation, freckles, if you will, of like a darker color all across their face. The other seems to just be a halfling individual, and kind of both looking towards you. Halfling speaks up. Yeah, how can I help you?
Oh, I was just going to ask you, did anybody got a smoke?
Kind of look towards each other. The Fireheart looks at you just with a frown on their face. Is that supposed to be like a joke or something?
Been on a boat for like a month, just looking for something to smoke. It's a cold night. You look like two nice individuals who might be willing to let me buy one off of you.
No, you don't need to buy one. You can bum it off of us. Fine. He'll go ahead and pull out like a cigarette. Go ahead and kind of like flicker a flame and kind of light it, and is going to throw the lit cigarette towards you. You're gonna try to catch it?
Attempt to catch it, I suppose.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me sleight of hand.
This is the most important role of the game. So
It
far.
is. And it's a nat 20.
Oh, perfect.
Oh!
Yes.
Go ahead and tell me what this looks like, Usher, as you catch a fucking cigarette.
Can I do about anything with a nat 20?
I'll give it to
I'm
you.
catching it in my teeth then.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. You like steady yourself, buckle down. You're able to catch it. Time slows down for that quick moment. It's a lot of math. But it's you catch it, and the halfling just looks at you and goes, "What the fuck? That was mighty impressive.
Escher gives a
Can
bow.
Can you do that again?" And the Fireheart elbows the halfling and just goes, I'm not giving another cigarette. Okay, you get one, that's enough. Are we done here?
I mean, I appreciate the friendliness of offering me free smoke. I gave you a nice performance. Why do we need to be so rude?
Fucking narcs. Turns around and just like walks off, and you see the halfling kind of sit there. They're kind of like on the balls of their feet, like moving forward and backwards, and just goes, I'm so sorry about him. That was really neat. You like a performer or something?
I gotta pass the time somehow on the boats.
Damn.
Should see
just
the
turns
dagger
around.
trick. It's great.
Immediately turns back and goes, the dagger trick. What? And
Oh, yeah,
kind of
it's- we practice. It's like, here, I'll put the cigarette in your mouth, and then it's like I throw a dagger and I can knock it out of your mouth. Maybe another time. Your friend seems a little bit perturbed.
Yeah. Sorry about him. Have a good evening. And just kind of like turns and walks off. One heading off, the Fireheart heading down, and then just walking out a different alleyway, and then the halfling kind of turning on his heels, kind of walking out. As,
Sure, I'll give the
you
finger
have-
to the Fireheart as he turns back to watching the street.
Perfect. Yeah, you have successfully fused and defused that interaction, and you now seem alone over here. Everybody else back at the warehouse proper.
With that, Arbor is going to, with his 30-foot climb speed, scrabble up the side of the building so he can see through the windows.
Yeah. As you go ahead.
And kind of gesture to Krellin to join him.
Yeah, Tron will take a couple steps back and just take a quick little run at the wall and start running up the wall, and then he's gonna grab and hold himself if there's like a ledge or something.
No, easy enough. You have to put quite a bit of pressure on your fingertips, but you are kind of like able to pull yourself up and hang over the edge. As you both look into the interior of this space, though, it almost seems like the windows are tinted, even as you're trying to look through. What kinds of vision do you both have?
Dark vision.
Yeah.
You cannot see into the interior of this space.
Does it seem like the magical darkness I'm able to use?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
You teleport into a window.
As you're kind of like thinking about it, not too unlike, but not the same. It seems like there's definitely some sort of magic on here. Maybe possibly a ward of some sort. So in terms of spells, your knowledge falters if it's not one of those succinct spell-less spells you have as a shadow monk.
Yeah. Kron will kind of turn to Arbor and be like, nod back down, and he'll climb back down.
Yeah. You can't see through the window. It kind of
Once we're back on the ground, I'll be
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
oh, it's strangely dark looking through those windows.
You want to try to
Dark. What do you mean by dark?
As in, we can't see anything through the windows. I mean, I can use magical darkness. It's sort of like that, but different.
Onair will
can you
walk up closer to the door, holding the ankh around his neck, and sort of like close his eyes, and he'll use his divine sense to see if there's any sort of unnatural sense about him.
Okay. Yeah, as you go ahead and use your divine sense, that gives you what is your response to it? Because I know in the specific wording it's like an odor almost that you're getting. What's kind of the sensory experience you get if one of those ping?
Um, it'll for Onair, it'll be a stench of like rot, like
Mm,
uh, yeah, just basically that, bile or whatnot.
okay, yeah. Then in that case, as you're kind of sensing around for this celestial fiend or undead, uh, you you don't necessarily ping any of those types as you're stood here. There doesn't seem to be anything creature related, I'll say, um, in this area, kind of around the store.
Okay. Onair will open his eyes and turn back and, well, for all I know, it seems safe enough. I don't sense anything that's terribly unfounded.
I mean, I could try to step through,
jump?
but never really tried to step into somewhere I can't see anything.
The vampire individual kind of like raises their hand in the midst of this and says, I do believe that Lord Tyrion would not put anything nefarious, but wards do seem to be in order. And as this name is said, for oh dear, Lord Tyrion is the leader of House to Harm.
Right. There's no need for anything that bad in a warehouse. Maybe getting through the lock is still on the table.
You haven't gotten
Well-
through it yet?
While they're doing this, can I look at the lock and like see if it's got anything magic on it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Once Zay is finished looking at the lock, I could try and give it another go. Otherwise, Arthur could just smash it with his hammer.
I was just
I'd rather
gonna
not,
think
but
about pulling it off the hinges or even taking the door off.
As
smashing
you
the
are-
smashing the lock is a little bit more subtle.
as you stand there, Zay, kind of like looking it over, you do notice that there is a small kind of aura of magic coming off of this lock, this padlock. And as you go ahead and flip it over, you actually notice that there's this small kind of intricate carving of like an abjuration sigil on the back of it.
Would I be able to do anything to it? Would I be able to like safely sort of, if it's like a sigil on it, would I be able to like scrape a part of it away to like end it, or would that have like consequences?
As you're kind of looking it over, you stare at the rune, and you notice that the sigil is not necessarily carved into the physical lock itself, but rather it is a presence that sustains through it. So scratching it away would not rid yourself of that. you would have to actually sort of eliminate the magical side of it.
Yeah, do any of our users, magic users, have dispel magic here?
I'll look at it and he'll sort of like put the lock back down, roll his left sleeve up, and then do that. Trace some of the symbols on there, and then he'll say in the he'll just say annuleren, leugnen, abschworen, aufhören, and do a nice casting of dispel magic.
Perfect. Are you
Where
upcasting
I will
this dispel
upcast.
magic?
I will upcast it to 4.
To 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's still gonna have to roll.
You are. You are.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oof.
So it'll be a spellcasting ability check.
Okay.
They
Well,
should have
that's
just left it.
Just make
Should have
sure
just
I
left
know
it at the second level. Third level?
it's
It's the third level.
It's third, so I thought
Third level.
I'd upcast it. Let's see. My spellcasting ability check is going to be.
If you just
8
find one of your
versus 2.
spells that has an
Yeah.
attack roll on it, just do that
Okay.
and just roll it, regardless of what it
Yeah.
actually is.
I don't think any of them have an attack. Oh, what do they? Anything have an attack roll? Nope. Yes.
Mhm.
All right. I'll roll. I'll roll this. Oof. Oof.
As you go ahead and cast this, you start to almost use your dispel magic. What does it look like as you're casting this?
Like I said, he's traced those sort of the geometric symbols on his that he has tattooed on his arm, and he's sort of pulled out what looks like another one of these like small sort of webs of magic from it, which he then sort of moves around like in his hand, and then tries to place it over the lock to sort of envelop and then engulf the magic.
Yeah. As you place it over this runic carving, you see that the actual magic energy of it starts to shiver and shift, and much like a snake, the actual rune itself slithers as each of the parts kind of come off of this central kind of thread, and as they pull out, they dissipate, and you are left with a lock that feels like it has been dissipated.
I'll sort
A
of like
fucking 5th level spell on this thing.
oof. I'll after doing it, he'll sort of like roll his sleeve back down, and he'll just be like, maybe try the lock again. There was a little something on it.
I figured as much. And he'll get back down with his picks. He'll give it another go.
Or we'll continue to try to like hold the base pins for him and like do the assistance that he's been trying to do in the past.
Oh, that's much
Ooh,
better.
look at those rolls.
Nice.
With that, you are very much able to pick it as you see the central kind of hook unlatch, and the chain around it seems free for you to kind of go ahead and pull it down.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
pull it open.
All right. With that, you pull it off. You see that the door slowly swings open with a creak, and immediately the goblin individual kind of perks up and says, "Oh, hey, got it. I'm guessing that's what it is. Are we outside of the right place?" And just kind of like looking around with their eyes closed, just like spinning as the vampire individual just puts a hand on top of their head and spins it around to where they're facing the same direction.
Gesture towards the door and look up. Arbron's been like, please, make sure it is safe.
Clone will quietly
and-
step through.
Yeah, Arbor will kind of do a similar hand gesture to how he did before, and Once again, probably if we weren't sticking to the shadows, the echo would have been left behind, and kind of dispelled at the prison before we left, and so we make similar hand gestures, and once again, kind of wisps of the dark alley will pull away from him and form into another simulacrum of his figure, and he'll send that in, kind of seeing through its senses.
Okay. And with that, the vampire individual stands there and says, I believe that this is truly the end of your escort. Then I can go ahead and tell you what your next destination is. And unbeknownst, Krellin and Arbor's Echo move through past the doorway into this kind of warehouse. But Onair, Zay, and Escher
Escher would be making his way
because
back
Escher
over.
came back. Yeah.
He would have stayed over there until the door was open, and then would have made
yeah.
his way back.
Easily able to then. Yeah. The three of you hear this, vampire?
A third location.
Yes. I can hardly imagine that you would be meeting with the one who issued you this if you didn't know where that location was.
Is fair. So we just leave you here?
Oh, yes. We were to be escorted. We were to be left inside of the Deharm's warehouse, and then we would be picked up by a separate emissary. So your job is done.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and make that. With a pointed done, you can roll insight.
Yeah.
Ooh, not good.
No.
Okay. Escher, yeah, a little peeved from this. Like, that's it. The compounding, the layering of the fact that like you've gotten through this, and the most you had to do was tell a guard to fuck off. Really. Well, two technically. But it's for Zay, as you're looking at it, you notice that this vampire is like kind of speaking through gritted teeth a little bit. There's a little bit of hesitation, not necessarily placed towards you all, but just like an uncomfortability.
It seems like there's something you're not telling us.
Sure, there are plenty of things that I'm not telling you, but
No,
I would say
you're
that
right.
it is for your own safety.
I was not specific, no. It seems like you're not telling us something about an aspect of this job.
Not you, it's just the Dahar.
I see. Well, I guess this is where we part ways.
Indeed, your next destination was the and the goblin speaks and goes, it was the Robbers Grotto in the Shadow District.
This is correct. Well, enjoy your freedom. Try not to get caught.
Right, thank you. And just goes ahead and puts a hand out, feels for kind of the corner, and walks over towards with the goblin in hand. For Krellin and Arbor's Echo, you have transitioned into the interior of this warehouse. As you move through this space, Krellin, very off-putting. There is a very heavy darkness over kind of like everything. It doesn't seem necessarily like what you channel, much as you checked from the exterior outside, but now you're deeply in the thick of it, and it feels almost oppressive. It's not just darkness, but it feels like as you're walking through this space, there's something else there, kind of just beyond what you can see, just beyond what you can sense. And what I need you to do is go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Nice.
You hear the sound. Are able to kind of steady yourself and kind of just shake off, even in complete darkness, this kind of like oppressive force. Um, what exactly is it that you're looking for in the interior of here? As you keep your bearings and don't get quite turned around yet.
More or less would have probably would have gone in maybe like 15 feet just to kind of get a layout of the area, see if there's anything that seems off about the place besides obviously the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But more or less just to see if it's like, full of people that are coming out to arrest us after or something like that. So
Yeah.
No. As you enter in, you can go ahead and roll me a perception with disadvantage.
Can I as well?
Yes, your echo can as well.
worst.
Okay.
No, not the 2.
Yeah, as you both try to perceive through this like weird darkness, you're not quite able to make out anything in any sense. You don't taste anything in your mouth that would be indicative of maybe some sort of gas around. You don't smell anything. You don't hear anything either. All you feel is just something just beyond your vision that could be there, but unless you fully push into this warehouse, which you walked around, so you know is quite large in an exterior, you might not be able to make out exactly what that is.
Yeah, Crone's just gonna look over to the Echo, kind of pointing his head back to the door and start walking back.
You are doing this in total darkness, wherein you cannot see each other. But I would say that you knew that Arbor's echo followed you in. You could have both entered simultaneously.
I bumped
so.
into him.
There you go. There you go. Oh, that wasn't Arbor's echo. Sorry, that was actually the Merspitzen. But that's fine.
Wow, this is on land now?
Fuck. Yeah.
We're evolving.
Yeah, the DeHarms are working with this Dr. Sydney. But yeah, you are able to go ahead and make your way out of the space. You all the others watch as Krellin and this like kind of weird phantasmal like echo, they step out of a clear, definitive like blackness back onto the back alley of this warehouse. And as you both exit, Krellin, your eyes adjust, and you are able to see the two individuals, still eyes closed, walking towards the darkness. As you're about to pass, quietly ships in the night.
Yeah, as he does out and Joseph like, well, enjoy his evening. It's peaceful.
Yeah. So when are we supposed to be meeting these people?
Oh no, we are not. They are to wait here. We are to move to a location in the Shade District.
We're supposed to just leave them here, unaccompanied, in the suspicious warehouse.
What did you see in the warehouse?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, literally nothing.
As in, it's complete darkness in there.
It's completely. There's something weird in there that's keeping it not only blocking sight, but also blocking all the other senses.
But honestly, if our next objective is to go to the Shadow District, not my problem anymore.
We have done what we are
I
taken
mean,
to do.
should we tie them up before we go?
We freed them. Why would we tie them up?
So they don't run off?
You see the goblin has bounded inside. The vampire has very much put a hand on the like door frame and just said, I really do think that you should probably just be off. This was what you were asked to do, and respectfully, this is the most ridiculously simple job I have ever heard of. And he just steps into the shadow.
All right. At the very least, Krellin, do you want to lock the door behind us?
Not really. Do I actually have to like relock it, or can it just like latch shut?
You
Yeah,
can
is it
close.
like a
It was a
padlock?
padlock. It was a padlock, so you can very easily just like close the door and leave it there.
It'll just say not really, and then just kind of grab it and just go click.
All right, easy enough. Yeah.
Just giving you the dirtiest look.
I don't know why everyone is so upturned about this. This is an easy job.
Just strange is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes a job is easy.
Alright, well, let's get on our way so I can have a drink.
Yeah, I heard tavern. I think that would be good.
Yes,
Make our way.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
5.5 of us.
Alrighty. Then you easily make your way through the rest of the Wave District, and you move your way over towards the Shadow District. This tavern, the Robber's Grotto, would be known to most of you. You would easily be able to figure it out without any sort of orientation. So, just inconspicuously moving through now that you don't have two black-eyed individuals, or how would you like to progress?
We don't need to do the mum as fast we did before, so we should be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Crowlin will actually take his hood down, not to look as suspicious.
Perfect. You easily do so.
Arbor's
And
gonna have his echo just trying to stick to the edges and the shadows as they progress along.
okay. Then with that, you are progressing through. You easily head over towards the Robber's Grotto. You see what looks like this image on the signage of this beautiful kind of like open grotto space. A large kind of like hole entering into a cavern with a glint of a golden dagger on the inside. Very small in terms of scale. We can't be putting gold leaf on everything, but it has its own kind of charm. As you progress into the space, you are met with a wooden exterior, a very nice porch kind of set out before you, and a few chairs, tables set up on the outside, these rustic kind of looking pillars. The building itself is sat between two other much smaller buildings, and you find yourselves outside here. Oop.
New map.
You see that the door is closed at the moment, but you do hear the sounds of people kind of talking on the interior. You hear the sounds of merriment, the sounds of drinking this late into the evening, and you also hear what sounds like a live performance of sorts coming from the interior.
I don't have any textures.
This takes a second.
It's
There
a
it
minute
goes.
for mine to load.
I'm hoping, yeah.
Make sure you
Listen,
have
maps-
all your buttons clicked. Because I'm seeing
Is
through
mine-
walls at the moment, so.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Let me see.
Fancy ground. Oh, there we go. It wasn't responding for a second, but
Oh, you might. Are you seeing through them
Yeah,
because of the
I know.
windows?
No, like, I can see everything. It's just wide open.
Oh. Interesting. Cool. Remember when I said that we would have all the map stuff done?
too many lights this time.
It's
But
a tavern.
I-
We should be okay.
I think it might be because the party vision is on, and so we're also getting the vision of the little tokens inside the tavern as well.
Which we shouldn't get them because they're not. Well, I guess it depends. Since they're all set to friendly, maybe it's counting them as part of the party.
Because if I click just on myself, I get the normal vision.
Yeah. Maybe they just need to be set as neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New tower.
Oh, you would be. I think it's because you would also be able to see it because of the lighting. No, I know what it is. It's this. It's this. If I do this, I bet you it'll change things. Right? Is that changing it?
Well, no, because the goblin and the bard are still in there.
Oop. And okay, now y'all have a much more limited vision.
Yes. Now the vision is more limited.
Cool. Yeah, I shouldn't have put everybody as friendly. I was sharing the token vision with y'all. But yeah.
Oh, this is a spot, right?
That's where he says. So
Let's head on in, grab a drink. Suppose they'll find us.
yeah.
Is there anybody around outside?
No, nobody sat outside. You see a few kind of like plates spread out, things like that, but nobody particularly sat out here.
You got a lot of sound effects, right?
That one got me really good, y'all.
All right,
Yeah,
Escher's going to change his appearance again before going in. So,
What are you changing to?
going to go to back to an elf with light brown hair, long past the shoulders, straight. A simple cloak with the hood down, and so fairly more on the finer end of clothing.
Okay. Yeah. Easily able to change form with nobody around. Only the other four accompanying you. And as you go ahead and do so, who would like to step into the space first?
I think Onair will.
Oh.
He was already ready for a drink.
Yeah. As you go ahead and move into the interior of this space, you are met with quite a nice scene. This place isn't necessarily the nicest in terms of build, but there are a multitude of tables. There are very nice kind of like chandeliers set above you with what almost seem like small clay pots. They seem to kind of like glow intermittently. There's a large fireplace. There's a bearskin rug that's set before it. And you do see off in the far left corner set of stairs that seem to go ahead and shift up. There's quite a bit of talking and movement amongst the people at in the tavern, as you see a few individuals. Two sat at one table, most just having a mug of ale this late, or in this case, early in the morning. You catch a performer kind of lightly strumming at a harp, and you also see the bartender kind of moving glasses intermittently. A Genra, actually, with coppery fur, who seems to have a lot like this kind of mat of fur almost done in like a top knot in between their large ears. And they look over at you, kind of give you a wave. There's another gives you a wave as well. Goblin individual kind of sat at this table at the lower right. You almost get both waves simultaneously.
Escher will kind of just like give a nod to Zay as we go in, just kind of motioning towards the one that the goblin waving, and then going to put his arm over Onair and direct towards the bar. I think I owe you maybe a drink for the unfortunate slapping incident earlier.
Oh, don't worry about it. But I won't say no. He'll let himself get escorted to the bar.
All right, you both make your way over to the bar. Arbor, what are you up to?
Arbor's going to have his echo kind of slink probably like in between these two buildings. I'd say probably like right here, and just kind of hide there before he goes in.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can easily hide. Zay?
I'm just gonna follow in after Asher and O'Neill.
Okay. Krellin?
I'd go in and probably just sit with them.
Okay. Yeah. So as Escher and Onair, you go ahead and approach the bar. You see this Genra kind of look towards you and say, "Oh, can I go out and get you anything?"
A round
Drinks
would
for
be
the
lovely.
friends.
Right.
I got it.
What are you
I got
having?
it.
Cider, mead, ale. You looking at your shots?
Some meat for me.
Give us a couple bottles of wine, some good. Kind of looking around, trying to get an idea what kind of glassware they have.
Mostly.
Escher
seem to be,
definitely
like,
carrying himself as the more noble in this end.
Very fair, very fair. You see that there are a few kind of wine glasses hung up, inverted, on a small kind of rack.
Yeah, the few of those.
Catch. You have a little bit of dust on them with your passive. But yeah, he says, well, of course. So a little bit of there, and you said bottles? How many exactly are you wanting?
Looking out across the whole group. Taking in, here's a fairly stout fellow, as well as Arbor's a little bit more on the stout end. It's like, better make it 4.
Can do. All right. Are you starting to tap, or do you want to go ahead and pay it right now?
Yeah, run a tap. That sounds like a good idea.
Sounds good. Pulls out a small kind of notepad, kind of like flips it over, scrawls a little bit, and just, all right. Got you set up. Go ahead and get things started. Do you want any food? We have rabbit and chard stew. We went ahead and made fresh today.
No. Not for me. My friends feel free to order what they want.
Looks over towards you, Onair. Do you want?
I'll
stew?
have 2 bowls.
Perfect. All right. Scribbles a little bit more. And then scribbles a little bit more on there as well. All right. We'll go ahead and get everything started, and I'll bring it over to you.
Perfect.
Let me try to move you, Arbor. You went inside.
Thanks. I wasn't sure where the door was.
Yeah. No worries. So yeah, you step in, get your orders placed, and this bartender gets to work on things. Seems like they were just kind of cleaning intermittently, but now that they have a little bit of a newfound purpose, as many of the people in here are unconsciously drunk, you get your things quite quickly. Where are you all deciding to go ahead and take your seat?
I'll head over to the goblin table.
Okay. Yeah.
Escher will as well.
Perfect. Go ahead and get set up. You go ahead and head over to the table with this goblin. You notice that although you changed your appearance, it would have fit very well with your previous kind of fashion, Escher. This goblin stands at a very diminutive height, and they have kind of like this rough kind of worn leather tricorn that they're wearing. They kind of have layers of a scowl as they have this kind of olive skin that's covered in scars, and he has these beady yellow eyes that spark with some sort of deviousness, but it is very clearly overtaken by the brief tuft of very thin hair that you see popping out of the back ends of the hat. And you all take your seat here. Is anybody else doing anything before this? Order's been placed. Cool. Goblin kind of takes up a lot of space, like fully leaning up on the table and like putting their hands kind of clasped, and goes, "So, you made it back from your little mission. That is quite good to hear. And my contacts have informed me that the two that you were meant to escort did make it safely back to the warehouse."
Right, they did. What's next for us?
Well,
Amen.
Yes, in time. Did you already get set up? I placed an order for a bottle earlier, and I am quite excited for it to come in. They ran dry on their supply line, but it's quite a fruity little drink. We can all share a glass, and I will too, because of course I want to extend to you the utmost respect, and that I'm not trying to poison. And as he goes ahead and gives this kind of like toothy grin, you notice that there is kind of this silver capped tooth in there. Very jagged teeth as well. This is, I agree though, payment is due. You did complete your job, so I will go ahead and escort you to the Shadowblade estate, and we will go ahead and handle payment there. You notice that even though you're kind of sat in the corner, this goblin is showing very little in terms of concealment. Just fully kind of like sprawled on the table, talking with not necessarily a loud voice. He's a little leaned in, but very unabashed in his explanation to the rest of you. You've only seen this individual in a cloak before, but the voice does match. This was the original kind of contact that you had when you first met underneath the Dark Gate. This goblin is named Zilchek.
Yep.
And so we have our stuff that we got from the bartender and then headed over here. Is that? Okay. Escher will set down his 4 bottles of wine and the glasses he's got in the other hand, and just like quickly pour a glass and slide it over to Zilchek.
Perfect. And as this happens, you notice that this bartender goes off and he comes back with a bottle of wine. It has this very nice kind of like wooden sheath on the bottom of it, and it is wrapped in a very nice kind of fabric. As he walks it over and kind of shows it over towards Zilchek, and he says, "Listen, I know that you went ahead and got your wine, but this is the good stuff." And the bartender says, "Yes, this is indeed our last bottle of Atanaberry wine, so it is yours," and goes ahead and puts it forward and sets it onto the table, the cloth kind of like coiling off and setting around the bottom of it, as you see within a very dark liquid and a very nice cork to the top of it.
Atanaberry wine.
Yes, indeed. This stuff
Never
is
heard of it.
fermented like you would not believe. It is quite incredible. But let's go ahead and start with your pleasant little wines first, and then we can get on to the good stuff before we make our march downwards.
Or maybe we take the drinks to go.
Well, I figured that might be a consideration. I would think that escaping the six-barrel dungeon would be quite a feat. So I did secure rooms for your little group. If you would like to go ahead and stay the evening, I have no problem with you staying here, and I can come and pick you up tomorrow morning, as it were. But if you want to go ahead and get rid of a few of your inhibitions, then we can go ahead and make our way down there just the same.
think it would be good to
I'm
take care of
feeling healthy.
business before pleasure.
To the right.
What has happened?
To the right. There you
we go. Jeez, crazy.
Doors.
Take it back now, y'all.
One step at a time.
You get this rabbit and chard stew, two heaping bowls before you, O'Neill. And you also get your flagon as well. There's a lot of alcohol spread across this table, and Zilchek is just kind of like hoarding the Atanaberry wine. The bottle itself, the neck of it is kind of like reaching up past the tip of his ears and in towards the height of his hat.
Does this bottle look like it's in any way been opened before?
No, it does not.
Okay.
You'll
there's
see
like
in a... Oh, go ahead.
there's just a foil cap for security's sake. So
Oh, that's good.
You'll see in a grand display, Onair take both bowls, dump one into his mouth, and then dump the other into his mouth.
You know, I've seen a lot of shit, but that one's new.
He'll give a loud belch, and then
I don't even think I saw him swallow.
better. Now, where were we? Right. Business.
What? We need to... I don't know about you guys, but celebrating maybe after we have finished everything and got our reward seems more apt.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll slowly turn towards Asher and just be like, maybe we start drinking after we have been rewarded, yes?
He's halfway through a glass, but you always know best, I suppose.
Hey, one glass to take the edge off is fine. It's you have 4 entire bottles of wine, and I know what happens after you drink 4 bottles of wine.
Well, I didn't assume... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, you go.
I didn't assume that they were all for him.
I did.
Yeah.
I should just give a little bit of a smile and say, help yourself. It's for everybody. We got places to go. Drink up.
Yeah. No. Arbor is already not properly in any way, just like full fisting a wine glass and has been most of the way through his first glass.
You partake a little bit. Nobody's downing an entire bottle, right? Everybody's kind of like working in moderation, or is anybody cutting loose right now?
Escher will
watching
finish the
everything.
glass that he had, but he's been scolded. He'll stop after that.
Yeah,
Krellin?
Onair will clear his tankard in a
Brown's not
similar
gonna drink
fashion.
anything.
You're not gonna drink anything?
He's just gonna
Wow.
watch for the time being.
You and Conrad
So
playing
some-
opposite characters here between this and the main campaign.
Yeah. Zilchik turns towards you and just says, I very much appreciate your professionalism in this exchange, but if you want to have a drink, you may. And he kind of like just pulls at the top foil of this, and then pulls out a small dagger and kind of like pops the cork on it, the Atanaberry wine. He also like holds the bottle and just kind of like waves it towards your nose. You are hit with a extremely pleasant, fragrant smell.
Yeah.
Very-
As he was like piercing the bottle with this knife or this dagger, did the dagger have anything on it? Was it a clean dagger?
No, it actually seemed to have like a lot of wear to it. It almost had like a toothy, like kind of serrated edge, almost like somebody kind of like sawed it down. So it easily catches in and is able to hook out the cork.
Or I meant more so, it wasn't like
Iconography on it.
No, like tipped with a poison.
No. No.
Okay. Just had to.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
I love that the audio cut out just enough that your iconography comment came across as I heard pornography on it. And I'm like, what the hell knife are we using here?
I would never.
It's the little stick
Yeah.
figure design from earlier.
Zilchik pours a glass, though, and goes ahead and takes a large swig of it, and then pours you one and holds it towards you, Krellin. You know you want to.
I'll take the glass and he'll take a little sip.
Okay. As you do. There is a very nice sweetness to this Atanaberry wine. It's not too dry. It doesn't overtake your palate, but instead you feel these kind of citrusy notes, and it just feels like a very bright flavor in your mouth. Very different from the liquors that you would have consumed before. But it reminds you a little bit of a party that you went to quite a bit ago. There were some nice exotic drinks available at Valoresca's as well.
Correct. It's quite nice.
Yeah. Arbor finishes his glass and just like slams it on the table out to be filled.
Get one. Yeah. Listen, I'm very sorry, but I did pay for the rooms up front, so I kind of would like to consider you possibly staying the night. I can be out of your hair too, if you want more of a private moment between you five. I'm sure there's much to discuss.
Well, I mean, any reason we can't, go get what we paid for and then come back up and spend the night here anyway?
We could. Though, kind of turns over, looks out the window. It's quite late. Or should I say at this point, quite early. If you really want to be sleeping mid-morning, I suppose you could.
Oh, that's what's natural for me. I don't know about the others.
A lot of my business is done
Yeah.
later in the day.
Can I make another insight check on this?
What are you inciting?
The fact that he's being weirdly pushy about drinking the wine and then spending the night, and then
Sure.
While he's doing that,
Go for it.
quick question.
Conrad, you're slaying us the showing.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
What's up, Escher?
I was just going to ask,
the
other
dice
than the
rolled me a
bard, the bartender, and Zilchek, is everybody else that's in here just passed out? Or is there other people drinking, doing other things?
There is another individual, kind of like sat over near the performer, actually, over near, kind of interspersed between the stairs and the performer. Just kind of sat there, quite groggy, but it does look like they are partaking in some sort of salad.
Saga's still out there. She redeemed a reroll on the insight check.
Go for it.
Hey!
Face Saga.
Thank you.
We've been successful that we didn't need the assist from Zephora up to this
I know.
point. Oh!
it's the
Somebody blew on the
19.
table.
And then it turned over.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, there you go, another reroll. We're
Hey!
gonna keep on going.
Don't spend them all in one place, but I do appreciate it.
Got infinite points.
He keeps teasing.
Oh
me.
my
He rolled a
gosh.
16 that time.
We got above
With
10.
an 11,
Yeah.
you get the way that. Don't tell me what to do. You get the feeling that the way that he is kind of very, very protectively holding this bottle, the ornate kind of decoration upon it and things like that. It probably cost quite a pretty penny. So, I mean, if you paid for the rooms too, you probably paid a lot of money. But money is a motivator in a place like Six Bells, especially if this individual is connected with the organization that they are. You're kind of left between a rock and a hard place in terms of your logic.
Escher's gonna finally take a seat. He's just been standing next to the table, drinking his drink. So he's gonna finally take a seat and like cozy up next to Zilchek and just start. All right. Well, if we're going to sit here and have a nice conversation, and you're going to sit here with us, tell me about yourself. How long you been with the they who we probably shouldn't say their name too much.
He kind of shrugs. He looks around. You would be surprised how many people in the pockets of the Shadow Blades, myself included, been with them for going on about 6 years.
Like it? Good benefits, good pay.
Oh, you're talking about further employment. Now, the job did not entail that you were necessarily going to be inducted with us. Though,
No.
if that is
I'm just trying to get to know you, Zilchek. Just want to know more about you.
Right. Sure. I guess that if you want to go ahead and do this, we can. And he goes ahead and pulls out like a small set of playing cards, kind of set in this like wooden kind of box. Would anybody like to go ahead and play cards while I am barraged by an odd array of questions? But I will answer.
Odd questions? I'm asking about work. It's about as innocent as they can get.
Right.
Hey, if you want to
right.
keep your trap shut, that's fine. Won't say no to some cards, but
No, it's fine. I can go ahead and answer any of your questions. I once again stress that I bear you no ill will. I appreciate the fact that you were able to accomplish this so efficiently. Though I will say we did have to follow up with a very specific guard in the dungeons who came up after a concussion, complaining of the fact that they were told they would not see their children ever again and would be paralyzed for the rest of their life. They're currently being...
He made it out.
Yes.
Good for him. I'm glad.
No thanks to a slip-up on these stairs. Though, well, I don't necessarily know how your intentions work. It was smooth. Before he could call up, make contact with somebody else, he slipped. And that bought you a little bit more time. Would have been bad otherwise, probably.
it's all a big dramatic and misunderstanding. He slipped, he fell, he hit his head. He started, saying some crazy things about how he'd never walk again and his life was over. And beyond that, I think everything else is just all probably wishy-washy for him. He was a bit of a head injury. We tended to him. He was fine.
Of course.
And the corpse.
What about it?
Oh.
Listen, we'll intersperse ourselves ever so slightly, but to undo the damage that you've done, well, I wouldn't say it was all damage. There was a little bit of enrichment too. Oh, I'm so excited that in a week there's going to be this incredible show. I do plan on seeing it.
You should. Tickets are going fast, I hear.
Our mistress is the sea. Very fitting in a place like the Wave District.
It's a classic. Or at least it will be once they've seen it. So I do have a question for you, Zicek, if you don't mind my asking.
Right, I thought this would be a little bit more you-all oriented, but As I mentioned, I will field any questions that you have.
I was just wondering why you wanted us to do this job.
Well, your ragtag, and there's something to be said about that. The person who was requesting that this job be done put in a good word for a specific set of skills. So, the Shadow Blades aren't necessarily as high as it goes. Maybe one step beyond that. And I must say I am impressed, and I am not looking forward to giving you access to our repository, as even I haven't gotten to take any of the things from it there.
Good to know.
Sure.
Okay, this is about us. Arbor slams down his empty glass again. Azure,
Yes.
what do you actually look like?
Hmm. I guess I've never had to describe myself before. That's a little bit strange. Just
You can
whatever
show us.
suits me. I mean, what would be the fun in that? Dashing young man, flowing brown hair, lavender eyes, nice mustache. Usually try and keep that with most disguises. It's always good to do the little stroke, but yeah, that's about sums it up.
Right, but what do you really look like?
He's horribly disfigured, like brutally disfigured. One eye is constantly looking to the left, one eye is constantly looking forward.
Droops.
Huge
There
scar.
we go.
Huge scar splitting
yes.
his face in twain. It is horrible.
Is there something
So
wrong with
the
having
options
a scar?
are like basic, basic white guy or horribly disfigured.
Options are endless. It's pretty spot on. I mean, it's a pretty it's been a rough life. It's been a rough life.
Sure,
When I saw his face for the first time, it changed me.
For
I
the
see.
better? For the worse?
Oh no, it's like non-specific change. When I first met him
Like
and I first saw his face, it set me on a course for the rest of my life.
like putting on a new pair of underwear.
Just like this, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm following.
You realize, Escher, that the one individual that was kind of like groggily awake, the performer seemed to go ahead and step out a little bit, kind of playing her harp extremely close, and he dozed off, setting his head down. So now at this point, every single person in here, outside of the bard, outside of the bartender, and outside of Zilchek, are asleep.
Onair will look around and see most of the people passed out at their tables and go, well, I guess if we're staying here, we might as well follow the rest of them around here and retire. If we're not going to be paid tonight, then
Well, we're not getting paid tonight. We got a lot more wine to go through.
right.
It's yours.
Go grab a glass and hold it out.
No, you get some of the Atanaberry wine, baby.
All right. So, how many rooms?
I got 3, and will very deftly produce 3 keys for each of you.
All right. Well, Zilchek, this has been something.
Indeed.
If you want to settle up our tab, we'll just retire to those rooms, and everything should be good for the night. So, sorry, Dustin, your reaction was too good.
He pulls off his hat, very thinning hair, as he holds it up to his chest and says, "Of course, I will very happily settle. You didn't match the 40 gold I spent on that." And we'll go ahead and, with a toothy grin, hop off the table and head over to the bar.
Give him a nice pat on the back as he goes back. Good chap. Good chap.
Yeah. He settles the tab, and you notice that after a short time, he actually walks out of the bar. It's just
Okay.
All right, so who thinks we're not getting paid tomorrow?
There will raise his
me.
hand.
Splendid.
So, in fairness, I always assume we're going to get betrayed at some point.
I, for one, will be
Okay,
found
lovely.
on the roof if you need me. I will not be sleeping in those rooms.
Oh, I wasn't going to sleep here at all. It seems like a really bad idea.
Describe the bar to
it's
me,
not about- I won't be-
DM. Sorry, Arbor, go ahead.
No, I was just to say, not the most comfortable, but I'd rather have someone watching my back. I can manage a roof for one night.
Can you read it?
This bard kind of like sat over at the end of the fireplace, kind of stone set into the ground, has a very large harp kind of set beside her that she's been kind of playing. It seems to be almost on like casters, as she's able to very easily kind of like with a delicate hand pull it along without actually strumming the harp strings proper. It's quite a dexterous feat. She has just this long, kind of feathery white hair, almost like that of a swan, and she wears a full kind of white dress as well. She has very pale skin. She looks to be humanoid of some sort, and she has long, kind of like wrist length or elbow length gloves that she wears in a very similar white patterning. Very elegant, very stark contrast to anything in here. She pops out like a sore thumb.
Is it playing any good?
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of music that fades to the background as you're kind of sitting inside of a space. But as you go ahead and focus a little bit more on her playing, it is quite nice. It's a very, very kind of like slow kind of harp melody that she's playing. Has a lot of kind of like smoother tones to it. It's not sharp or pointed or anything like that. It is the grace of a harp expressed before you.
Do
All
I see
right,
Escher
wine.
Do I see Escher look at the bard?
I wouldn't be being stealthy about it, so.
I think he sort of like, so sort of turns, looks and sees you looking at the bard, and then just goes, could be worse.
Good with her hands.
Hey, you know what they say about harpists?
No, I don't. Please enlighten me.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm so
no, I don't.
sorry. I didn't have a follow up for that. I thought someone would fill it in with some sort of dirty joke. I guess. Let's say. You know what they say about harpies?
something fingering. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, you really went there, but sure. Yeah, you know what they say about harpists? It's good to be with someone who knows what they're fingering.
Yeah, there you go.
And then
All right.
Just slap his forehead.
Escher's going to fill more glasses of wine and pass them along to the people that weren't drinking earlier.
Yeah, get everybody drunk.
The joke's got to get better, right?
One would think so.
That's all we got, folks.
Yeah, the alcohol loosens you up a little bit. Um, the security of this place, although it once a worry, feels well, fine now. Early enough in the morning, nobody's really paying attention. Even the bard herself seems innately focused on the harp that she is playing. The bartender kind of heads to a back room to go ahead and do some work. You feel majority that you are alone there. No prying eyes or prying ears.
Onair will go ahead and pick up one of the keys off of the table and look around and say, well, I think it's time for some rest, as whatever fuckery they might show us tomorrow, we'll definitely need all the energy that I can muster. And
Okay.
he will turn. As he turns, he'll say, you probably do not want to bunk with me, unless you're fine with snoring.
Before
Yo.
responding to O'Neill, or before he walks away too far, just a clarification point with the DM. We met and went straight into the sewers to do this, or did we have some time that we worked together in planning that whole deal? How much do we know each other? Let's put it that way.
Very little. Very little. Things like the onset of Escher's true kind of appearance. Things like seeing Arbor's echo as well. These are rather new kinds of things. Each of you could have done a modicum of research upon the others, but this is the first time that you're seeing them live in the flesh. Not too unlike the Shadow Blades, which have really only been stories, but you just met Silchek, who is supposedly associated with them.
Don't rush off. It's a great opportunity for us to all get a little friendlier, chummier, get to know each other. Oh, we got some delightful music, drinks. Might be able to negotiate that the tab keeps on going. Zilchuk can pay it in the morning.
Well, I think we're still like, he kind of grabs it and like shakes the bottle, like 2 and a third bottle left.
Krellin will grab his second key. Well, how about we get to know each other if we survive till the morning?
Why do you need a key if you are sleeping on the roof?
They're probably watching. I'll sneak out the window.
Okay.
You can just
God,
climb out my window.
yeah, but like,
as you're having this conversation, O'Neill, you've kind of like gotten up. You see the bartender bringing out a long kind of plank of wood that has a bunch of different shot glasses on it. Just kind of steps over and lays it down on the table and says, this was a flight of Norborn whiskey that Zolchek wanted you to have. Yeah, we already paid for it up front, so knock yourselves out. Not literally. I can't deal with any more. And he like gestures towards all of the unconscious people in here. And he rubs an eye. He's pretty tired at this point. Heading off back towards the bar.
Do we have a rough idea what time it is?
Has anybody checked? No keen minds here.
like
No,
in game,
in game, yeah.
in game. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and make me a survival check. Man, I love checking time.
I'm not good at that, but we'll try.
Hey,
Well,
yo,
dirty 20.
yeah, you are. It
Nice.
is very easily like 2, 3 a.m.
Okay.
2:37 a.m. with your 20, your dirty 20. I don't know if I can even add that time. Dang it.
I think you can.
All right. Well, Arbor,
A flight
Absolutely. So, you can regale me with the story of how these two, points to Zay and Escher, how you you know each other? Uh,
Oh.
It is a long and sordid tale. Well, not too long. It's been a few years, so. But sometimes when you are doing jobs that are less than questionable legality, shall we say, you when you work with people, you realize there are certain people that you can trust more than distrust, and working with Asher is always it's always brought about good results so far, not to jinx anything. So it's been a fruitful partnership, shall we say, thus far.
Escher
What
will give a
about,
quick bow of the head.
What about you two, eh? What were you doing before you came to Six Bells?
I think sort of there's a question. Has Krellin gone up and left yet, or when the core was being brought out, did he stop and stay with the group?
Nah, he would have gone up.
Okay. Well, I mean, had a job together back in Bavaria. Not 100% sure what he was doing before that. I did some bounty hunting, odd jobs. Um, no, and then there was a kind of a job that went a little bit rough, and the three of us have been kind of watching each other's backs since then.
Three of you.
Yeah,
Wait,
she's
do you mean your Echo or another person?
Oh, no, third person. She's out traveling at the moment. Otherwise, I'm sure she would have been happy to get in on this.
What you said the job itself, you make it seem like it didn't go great?
Oh well, it was successful. Just a casualty on the team.
Oh. Oh, it's never good. It's never good.
Yeah,
You try and go back for them. You work as a team. You try and keep people together, you know?
sure. I mean, the options were try to run back for their corpse and maybe get killed ourselves, or
Oh, they were
make sure
dead
we get
then.
out of there.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm sorry. Ray's like one of the whiskeys. He's just like, to people who give their lives to causes and jobs where they know they may not survive.
Do this proper. I mean, name, drink to them.
Wait,
to the fallen.
Grabs it.
We'll raise a glass to your fallen friend.
Grabs a second one of the shots.
Yeah, Krellin left his.
To
So.
Rook. Yeah. To Rook, and to being fabulously rich, and takes the drink.
Say, to Rook.
She'll take a shot.
And to being fabulously rich, of course.
Mm.
To accomplishing your goals.
And I think with that, this is a solid place for us to go ahead and wrap up. Y'all are going to be 3 sheets to the wind by the end of this. Ooh. But
Yeah,
Norborn whiskey hits different.
Yeah, we'll figure after this. Our would probably go to bed. Try to get up onto the roof before he gets too shaky or
Very fair.
alcohol sets in.
Can you not send the echo to the roof and then just swap places?
I could,
He was thinking
but I
of
want to
that.
leave the echo on the. I'm leaving the echo on the ground as my escape if I need to try to escape during the night.
He'd still be on the ground. You just swap places with him.
I mean, that's fair.
As we wrap up the evening, all of you, I mean, a slight suspicion of what could or could not happen in the following day. We will go ahead and wrap up things here. So we will be back with our next session. And for those of you who are catching the video on demand, this is the end of the line for you. But if you
Quick question.
can't- oh yeah.
So, where are we going to be at when we start next session? Will it be or after everybody's retired? Will we still be sitting here at the table between the four of us, with Krellin absent? What's the plan?
I wonder what would everybody like. Is everybody? I know O'Neill just said you were going to go ahead and head upstairs as well, right?
Yeah, I'll probably go to bed. After everyone else is gone, I'll probably finish some of the drinks with Escher, and then just be like, we should probably head upstairs.
We didn't set a time to meet, did we?
No. So Chuck said that he would come and pick you up.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. So you have breakfast in the morning, or
Yeah, I'm okay with
lunch
waking up in the morning.
Hello,
Brunch.
brunchin'.
Brunch.
Brunch. Yeah.
Mimosas?
Oh my gosh! You want me? Oh, you want me to DM a brunch? Okay. So if you're not watching it live, make sure to next time because we're narrating a brunch, y'all.
We're brunching.
All right. Well, if we're gonna pick up in the morning, Escher is gonna make a pass at the bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What exactly are you trying to do?
He's gonna
Oh, yeah,
pass
how you
himself
picking?
off as being some highfalutin noble and God's gift to women, I guess. But
Which God's gift to women?
well, we are in the Wave District, or no, we're in the Shadow
Oh.
District now. So I guess we'll go with
Yep.
Noctalus's gift to
Okay.
women.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
But can I do deception since I'm completely selling a lie?
Yeah. I'll let you run deception. And how are you helping out, Zay?
I think I've seen him
Wingman.
hit on enough women that I'm just wingmanning him as much as possible.
Yeah.
Perfect. Can you give me one quip that you would wingman with?
Let's see. Well, if you give me one chat up line you would use so I can have something to work with.
I have never seen someone with such deft finger work on the harp. It's just amazing play.
It seems as though maybe the two of you could make even more beautiful music, you know?
Nice.
That's deception with advantage. That is deception with advantage.
I now have a question as to
Damn, those are some bad rolls, but we'll take the dirty 20.
dang.
What's up, O'Neill?
What does each god's perfect male and female look like? Do
Yeah.
they have,
Oh, it's not
different
all
body
about
types? Do
looks.
they-
It's about being the best lover that Noctalus would provide to someone.
All right, we're getting into some highly with this one, folks.
make a Noctalus piety check.
She introduces herself as Senna to you, Senna, and she has this very kind of divine glow about her. And as she goes ahead and laughs with one hand, she kind of pulls up her other, and she says, I think that we could probably make that happen. And she minor illusions this secondary set of fingers so that it looks like she has 10 fingers on one hand.
I think I audibly, I'm drinking, I helped out here, and I just go,
Good. Solid.
She will look towards you though and say, though I will say that there's a modicum of performance that you're going to have to employ me for if you truly want me to go ahead and show you.
Oh, Certainly, certainly.
All right. With that, I do want to inform everybody that specifically the Robber's Grotto is in the Vampire Citadel, which is functionally the red light district of Six Mills. So, yeah, you're able to have her for the evening. She stays up with you. Now, the question is this: Onair took a key. Krellin took a key.
Oh, I ain't staying here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're going to the alley out back. So
Oh,
yes, they can
shit.
walk.
No.
I
No,
mean,
I guess Arbor would probably go up and like pound on the door, realize Krellin has already gotten to the roof, go back down, grab the third key, and then go through there.
You wouldn't
Say
have locked the
Stan.
door.
And then, so I'm just like, he's gone off with Senna. All the keys have gone. I'm sat there just like, oh great.
Krellin wouldn't have locked the door.
I love
yeah,
the
then-
idea that the door is just old and Arbor assumes that it's locked, so treks on downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, if Zay would say something, Arbor would
I
leave
think-
the key with
yeah,
Zay
I-
before he crawls up out the window.
I think I'd follow you and I'd just be like, are you sure you're in the right state to be climbing up? You're already doing it. All right, cool. Well,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm going to lock the window. This is it now.
No, I'll be fine in the morning.
Yeah. In that case, we will go ahead and wrap up with everybody's intrepid adventures in the early hours, and we will go ahead and pick up next session in the morning as you all convene for brunch.
Brunch.
So for video on demand folks, this is the end of the line now. So congrats, you got that little bit. So make sure to check us out live though, because we are going to go ahead and start on our wrap up things pretty quickly after. We get to do MVRP, we get to do favorite moments and questions. So yeah, come check us out, interact with the chat. Thank you to Saga for all them re-rolls. It was worth it.
Absolutely.
It was worth it. But with that, we'll go ahead and say bye.
Thank you all. Happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year.